AAAtoday.com. That's call AAAtoday.com or give them a shout at 803-677-1500. Tell them Jay Phillips sent you to AAA Heating and Air.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And cover your furry friends with pet health insurance.
WNKT-FM Eastover, Columbia, your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game, a Cumulus media station.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
Not feeling like yourself? Call the Men's Clinic at 803-875-MENS.
The Halftime Show on The Game Network and the 107.5 The Game app.
There's a Christmas tune. Little Zeppelin. Zeppelin Christmas. I don't think we ever found that. It's a Zeppelin Christmas. I don't think so. I don't think Robert Plant and Jimmy Page and those cats ever put together a Christmas album. I could be wrong. Halftime show. Terry Ford, glad you could be hanging out. Tyler's got the week off. Ed Bird takes no days off. Ed Bird's here to hang out with us. Best producer in the history of the game. That's what happens when you bring donuts. Wait a minute. They're handing out our donuts. I just saw this. Just don't touch the donuts. Don't care what you steal, stay away from the donuts. It's the way this works. Hey, Ed, we need security. We need security. Our security's lapsing. It's not good. All right, so we are running up until 3 here on the game. Appreciate you. It's our last day of live radio until Friday, because we're going to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to, kind of go do this holiday thing with our friends and family and all that stuff. Yeah, I know it's kind of shocking. We actually do have friends and family, and we're going to roll our best of 2024. We do it every year now, where we look back on the year, get all the hosts together to blab about the year and put that together, and also grab some interviews and special moments from 2024. We're packaging that together, and you'll be hearing that in some way, shape, or form the next few days. Also, we'll have NFL football on Christmas Day with the Steelers and the Chiefs from Pittsburgh. Big game in the AFC for playoff positioning. Steelers in the AFC North fighting the Ravens. They're both tied now for the lead in the North. And Kansas City trying to hold on to home field advantage in the AFC. So all that stuff we got coming up here next 3 days. Then we'll get back to live and local on Friday at 6 a.m. with the early game right here on the Game in Columbia, Florence, and Myrtle Beach. So over the weekend, college football playoff. We've obviously been yapping about it all day, and we'll get to it here in a couple minutes. Just get you caught up on what's going on with South Carolina in the transfer portal. Did lose Jones, the linebacker from Grambling. He had committed to signing out of the portal with South Carolina, then went to visit Ole Miss, and obviously they just threw gobs of money at him because that's what they can do at Ole Miss, and that's not a criticism. God love them. That Grove Collective is a thing. And Ole Miss has been very active in the portal here in the last couple of years, spending lots of dollars in the portal these last couple of years. So no surprise that, you show up at Ole Miss and, they got bags. And they shared a bag or two or three or four with Jones, and he's now a member of the... Put the donut down, lady. Ed... Tase the sales manager. She just stole a donut. Sorry. We take our donuts seriously here on the first floor. Those office weasels come up here and steal our donuts. Anyway, or come down here. One name to take a look at, Western Kentucky's Rodney Newsom Offensive lineman can play center and guard. Had a nice year at Western Kentucky. There should be something coming up in the next 24, 48 hours about Newsome. Of course, South Carolina already has a commitment from Nick Sharp. There will be 2 veterans. Because remember, South Carolina losing their center, Rashawn Lee. Also losing Torricelli Simpkins and Kamar Bell. Losing center and 2 guards. Now, again, you got a bunch of youngins. You know, you got Ball. You got Tro Ball. You've also got Marquis Anderson. Anderson was a 4-star coming out of high school. Ball has already had some run at South Carolina. So you've got some guys there who could step up, but you can't, in this world today you live in college football, you know this, you can't just say, well, wait for the young guys to develop. No. You can't. You got to have a backup. And you go out and get a guy like Nick Sharp and a guy, if you can pull it off, like Rodney Newsome. You have 2 veteran guys who have been productive that can plug in a guard and center for you. And then at tackle with Josiah Thompson and Kason Henry and Tree Babalade, you feel like you're sitting pretty good at tackle, but you do need to fortify the interior of the offensive line. So we'll see what happens with Rodney Newsome. Also, Miles Norwood, defensive back, Ball State transfer. He's visited South Carolina, visiting Kentucky. Like Newsome, South Carolina's in a good spot here. We'll just have to wait for the final decision. So Miles Norwood, again, remember, you're going to need help in the defensive backfield. You got some very young DBs that you like, no doubt. But again, you just can't sit around and say, oh, we got those young guys. They're going to develop and be the next man up. There's no guarantee. There's just not. So a Miles Norwood could be quite helpful to you if you could end up getting him to South Carolina. Former Florida Edge TJ Searcy had his visit to South Carolina. Gamecocks appear to be a legit option according to Gamecock Central. We'll see where it goes. Also, Auburn and A&M are also in on Searcy. And we brought this up on the extra point. Former Alabama and Florida State linebacker Sean Murphy is in the portal. Murphy was a top 70 prospect nationally in the class of 2022, but he just hasn't popped yet as a college player. He could be someone South Carolina could be interested in. Justice Haynes, the running back, the number 1 running back in the transfer portal, leaving Alabama, has visited South Carolina, visited Ole Miss, visited Michigan. According to the folks at Gamecock Central, it's important for Haynes and his family to make the scheduled trips to go through the process. So we'll see where this goes. You just don't know. I mean, yes, the NIL is a thing. Winning's a thing. Opportunity is a thing. And, you know, where you're sitting in NIL offers compared to an Ole Miss or a Michigan, I don't know. But you will have opportunity to be the starting running back at South Carolina. That's no doubt. I mean, there's some depth in that running back room. There's some potential in that running back room. But the starting job will be wide open once, because Rocket Sanders will be moving on. And according to our buds at Gamecock Central, Marquell Blackwell, the running backs coach for South Carolina, had a good rapport with Haynes. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. A couple things that Gamecock Central puts in this post. Starting today, there's a recruiting dead period. You can still be in communication between portal players and staffers, but no visits are allowed from today until January 5th. Current portal window closes on December 28th, with the exception of players who are in postseason bowl games or the college football playoff. Those players will have an additional 5-day window after their games wrap up. And there will be more entries after the bowl college football playoff season. Also, there's a spring transfer window. So all those things you keep in mind. That's the latest on South Carolina regarding the transfer portal. All right, college football playoff. Let's start ratings-wise. College football playoff. It was interesting the way the whole thing came out. The ratings, I think, hurt both the NFL and college football. The afternoon games that were right up against the NFL contests, those games were in the threes ratings-wise. The lowest being Penn State SMU at 3.1. Both NFL games ratings were in the sevens. So I think the NFL games took a bit of a hit because of the college football playoff, and the college football playoff games took a hit because of the NFL. So it was a two-way street where both kind of took some shots. And I again, what do you do for college football? It was kind of a tough spot. The NFL, once the college football regular season is over, after Army-Navy's done, college football, and the NFL says, okay, we're going to take Saturdays now too. But now you have the college football playoff, and the college football playoff people are like, well, what do we do here? I mean, there was one game on Friday, which got over a 5 share, the Notre Dame-Indiana game. The other contest on Saturday night with no NFL competition was Ohio State and Tennessee, and that polled like a 6.3 share. So that was the highest rated college football playoff game on a Saturday night with no competition. But it was tough. Do you play an extra game on Friday? Do you start maybe, again, it's not quite prime time. Do you start a game at 5:30 or whatever? Then have a doubleheader game at 9, which would go late into the night. But again, it is a Friday night. You could have done that, and then you would have had 2 games without the NFL, and then you could have had that nighttime game without the NFL, and you would have had 1 game Saturday afternoon in direct competition with the NFL's 2 games. Maybe you could have done that. But you were going to have to run something up against the NFL. You just were. And that's a lose. Every now and then, like you'll see, if you got a crappy Thursday night game going up against a compelling World Series game, baseball might beat the NFL there. But usually, you're not touching the NFL at all. You're just not. And for the record, Steelers-Ravens on Fox was a 7.6. Texans-Chiefs on NBC was a 7.4. College football playoff, the highest rated, the Tennessee-Ohio State game, ABC, ESPN with no NFL competition, 6.3. Indiana-Notre Dame, ABC, ESPN, no NFL competition, 5.7. The 2 games with NFL competition dipped a ton. Clemson, Texas on TNT, 3.6. SMU, Penn State, TNT, 3.1. So it's just a reality lump against the NFL. But I do believe those 2 college games did pull some NFL audience that would typically be hanging out on those 2 pro games. So what does it all mean in the big picture? We'll see moving forward as college football now is in the quarterfinals, the final 8. And we'll, at the end of it, kind of, because the ratings matter, because that's how you're setting your ad rates to make dollars if you're college football. So we'll see. I think, look, it's not going to go backwards. To me, it goes to 16 at some point. We'll find out when, but it'll go to 16, probably when you're redoing all these contracts. In 2 years, you'll probably go to 16. But that's kind of the ratings breakdown on what happened. We will talk about those games in general coming up next. We do have basketball. We have the women on Sunday, the men on Monday. So there still is hoops through the holiday season with South Carolina. But the women will play Sunday and the men will play on Monday. And, of course, we have the Citrus Bowl on Tuesday. We get underway at 10 a.m. with our local Gamecocks game day here in Columbia at 107.5 The Game. The network hits at noon, and our affiliate Myrtle Beach joins us at noon as well for coverage of South Carolina and Illinois, the 2025 Citrus Bowl. So that's what's coming up later on in the week. All right, we'll jump back in here. On campus, was it cool to see home games in the college football playoff? And we'll start looking at some of these blowouts in the next segment. It's a halftime show. Terry Ford, Ed Bird's here for a little while longer, hanging out with us. You get some more donuts now. They stole them, Ed. Just saying. We go to 3 on the game.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach.
The Game Network.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
The Game TV. 1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
It's the most wonderful time of the year again, and if you're needing to buy Christmas gifts, you just gotta come see us at Traditions Fine Jewelers. We have more amazing choices to suit every budget and every taste, from diamonds to gold to precious gemstones, and our prices are simply incredible. Like 1 carat total weight diamond studs, just $4.99, or 2 carat total weight studs, just $9.99. Nothing says I love you like a gift of fine jewelry, and at Traditions, you can count on getting more for your money. Traditions Fine Jewelers on Sunset in Lexington and at the Fountain at Sand Hills. Wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas.
For appliances with Reliances, that's Jeffers McGill.
Come see the entire line of GE appliances at 1421 Atlas Road. Jeffers McGill offers the best customer service and lowest price on every GE make and model, including GE Profile, Monogram, and Cafe brands. Jeffers McGill and GE, your home team.
For appliances with Reliances, that's Jeffers McGill.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Merry Christmas from Pope Davis Tire and Automotive.
It's easy this time of year to make Scrooge boss jokes.
Which is totally unfair.
Because you are more of a Grinch guy.
Still bitter about me borrowing your remote control car for a few hours when you were 9?
You gave it back with no tires.
If your real car needs tires, we've got up to a $100 rebate on any set of Michelin tires until December 30th.
Find the right tire at the right price at PopeDavisTire.com.
Come home for the holidays. Not enough room at home for those extra guests and their pets? The Home to Suites by Hilton Columbia downtown has you covered. Guests will enjoy complimentary home to breakfast and Wi-Fi too. Receive a 12% discount on a studio suite in November and December. Mention promo code HOM when you call 803-227-3410. That's 803-227-3410. Check the hotel website for pet fee and size limits.
There's one way to stop the IRS from moving forward against you. That's to have an experienced attorney who understands the law and your rights. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. When you hear these so-called national tax resolution companies telling you your IRS problems can go away, ask yourself, does it sound too good to be true, or am I just talking with a salesperson? Will a licensed attorney handle my legal problem? An IRS problem is a serious legal matter. Don't trust your tax problems to some out-of-town TV spokesperson. Come meet with me in person, and together we'll take control. We've helped thousands of individuals and businesses with tax problems right here in South Carolina. Your first visit is completely free and confidential. So if you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, John Ecton, at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to EctonLawFirm.com. If you're a Carolina resident and you have an IRS problem, hire a Carolina attorney. Hire me, John Ecton.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina, on your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence. And the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, we are cooking the Halftime Show. Terry Ford, Ed Bird, hanging around with us. We still have 4 donuts left, Ed. We're good. We're good. 1 for you, 3 for me. Or 4 for me. Look, man, I can crush those things. I love Krispy Kreme. No problem taking those things out. I will fall on that sword for you, Ed, just to make sure you're healthy. I will do that for you. All right, college football playoff over the weekend. Look, it was fun to see these games on campus. It was very cool. Very cool. And energy and excitement to it. Look, I know the bowl games. I get it. I get the whole thing. I get the dollars involved and the money, and I understand why the bowl games are a big part of this. I get it. I do. But they don't rate to the excitement and electricity of having a college football playoff game on campus. It just doesn't compare, not even close. Bowl games are, they're kind of sterile, antiseptic. I mean, the NFL, well, they'd love the neutral site, the AFC and NFC championship games, if they could get away with it. But they can't. Remember during COVID, the NFL was like, well, remember there was that weird, no, was it COVID? I think it was. That weird situation where was it the AFC championship game might be played in a neutral site? And everybody was like, whoa. And the NFL was like, if this works, the money we could make. Because, I mean, let's just be real. Sports today just cares about money. That's about it. So they would love to drag these things off the neutral sites. But there's just nothing like a home game in the playoffs. College basketball's home court advantage in a lot of venues is real because, the crowd's on you in college hoops. But a home game in football, whether it's NFL or college, where that crowd is well lubricated and rocking and rolling, and it's loud and it's intimidating. It's phenomenal. It really is. So I love that part of it. That was great. We heard a lot about the Tennessee fans, at the Horseshoe. And I don't know, maybe if Tennessee would have actually put up a fight, maybe we would have heard how loud it was from Tennessee fans at the Shoe, but we never had that opportunity. But these places were packed, and it just had an atmosphere to it, no offense, that a bowl game just isn't going to bring you. Just not. So that was fun. The games themselves, Clemson made it a contest in the second half to their credit. But they were blown out early and had to try to crawl back into that game. They cut it to 1 score, but couldn't get over the hump against Texas. And the other ones were they were awful. Let's just call it what it was. They were awful. Indiana looked overmatched from the get-go. Curtis Rourke, the starting quarterback for Indiana, he was totally flipped upside down by Notre Dame's defense. The intensity, the pass rush, the heat that Rourke was getting, Rourke just couldn't handle it. And that game almost felt like it when Indiana gets the ball on a Notre Dame interception. Indiana moves into Fighting Irish territory. Then Rourke throws an awful pass into double coverage. That's picked off. Next play, boom. The running back Love for Notre Dame goes 98 yards, touchdown. Game over. It felt like, okay, let's see what Indiana can do. And the Hoosiers, you don't know what they could do because they got whooped at the line of scrimmage. To be fair, was Rourke, he looked like he was seeing ghosts, like the great Sam Darnold against New England? Yeah, but here's the thing. It didn't matter because the offensive line was they were run over. And the Indiana defensive front was run over. We talked about these games last week, and we were like, look, if Indiana's defense, among the nation's leader in sacks, best run defense in the country, going up against Notre Dame, who loves to run the ball. If Indiana can win that battle against Notre Dame on the line of scrimmage, their run defense against Notre Dame's run game, Indiana's got a shot to make this thing close. Indiana's offense, had been explosive all year. And if they could shut down Notre Dame's run game and force Riley Leonard to have to throw the ball down the field, Riley Leonard's great throwing 4 or 5 yard passes. If you can make Riley Leonard have to really make plays in the passing game to bring Notre Dame back or to have Notre Dame win, that's what you wanted. It didn't matter. Notre Dame ran for 5.5 yards a carry, almost 200 yards. Riley Leonard was efficient, not spectacular. But Indiana got beat on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball and got whooped. It wasn't even close. That score means nothing. Game was over. Indiana scored twice in the last 2 minutes. When Notre Dame was putting like professors in the contest to play. It's like, hey, there's a psych professor. You want to get in the game? You want to play linebacker? That was a whooping. The score doesn't even tell you if you didn't get a chance to watch it. SMU had their chances early, but they kept throwing pick sixes. And we talked about that last week with Keith Jennings, the quarterback at SMU. He makes some great plays. He makes some boneheaded plays. SMU, the only team to turn the ball over more in the college football playoff was Texas. SMU turns it over a lot. Couldn't do that at Penn State. SMU went, oh, yeah, watch us. And, they turned themselves over right out of the game. They looked overmatched. And obviously, Tennessee, I didn't see that coming. I thought Tennessee could pull the upset, or I thought it was going to be a close game. What Ohio State did to Tennessee on both sides of the ball, Ohio State looked like the best team in the country. I mean, they pulverized Tennessee. And you're like, oh, that's why they spent so much money on that roster. Okay, all right. That freshman wide receiver, Jeremiah Smith, is vile how good he is. Tennessee had no answer for him. We talked about, too, going into that game, what quarterback, one of the keys would be what quarterback would make plays. Well, that was easy. Will Howard, quarterback, Ohio State. Made a ton of plays. Will Howard was really good. And Nico was the opposite of really good for Tennessee. He looked like a redshirt freshman quarterback playing in a gigantic game. 14 of 31, inaccurate, it wasn't very good. The Tennessee passing game, there was no passing game. And that offense is so quarterback friendly. Nico almost made Joe Milton look accurate. I was surprised how bad Tennessee got beat. I thought Tennessee would show up better, but give Ohio State their props. They took out 3 weeks of frustration on the Vols. And again, these games, besides Clemson, Texas, here's the ironic part. Notre Dame only beat Indiana by 10. Texas beat Clemson by 14. The Clemson-Texas game was much more of a tight contest than Notre Dame-Indiana. And, of course, you're going to say this is human nature. You watch Indiana, you watch SMU get boat raced. And if you're a Gamecock fan, a Crimson Tide fan, or a Rebel fan, you're going, really? Hell, we could have done better than that. And, look, it's not second-guessing or whatever. The legit question marks going in for, even though Indiana only lost one game, they beat no one. Their best win was 7-5 Michigan. SMU, their strength of schedule was in the 60s. Who have you really beaten? So even though your one-loss records are good, how do they stack up if you've lost 1 or 2 games with easy schedule compared to a team that's lost 3 games with a much more difficult schedule? Again, You know, Alabama didn't do themselves any favors, losing to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma, 2 games they should not have lost. Ole Miss didn't do themselves any favors by losing to Kentucky. Ooh, a bad Kentucky team. And South Carolina, again, Gamecocks, you know, LSU game, Lenore Sellers doesn't get hurt. Officials actually don't suck. You win that game, where you at? Or you finish the deal against Bama and Tuscaloosa. So all 3 of those teams, you know, had moments they'd like to take back. And if they could, they'd have been in the playoff. But still, when you watch Indiana and SMU, you go, and they were in ahead of us? Really? Halftime show. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out. What went on while you were sleeping? We got that next here on the Halftime Show on The Game.
107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. We all love streaking. I mean, streaming. Until we have to pay for it. But not when you stream The Game.
And how much does it cost?
It's free. Just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the 107.5 The Game app. And stream for no charge. And listen for no charge.
Healthy skin and a relaxed body are always in season. This holiday, give the gift of wellness with a Hand and Stone massage and facial spa package. Purchase a spa package gift card valued at $200 and receive a free 1-hour massage or facial service gift card. Start a new routine of relaxation at any of their 3 convenient locations across the Columbia area or handandstone.com to purchase online. Treat yourself and those you love to the ultimate gift of wellness. Offer valid at participating locations for only a limited time.
Hey folks, Ben Cato, 3rd generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. I want to wish you and those around you a Happy New Year on behalf of my family and staff. We don't know what next year will bring, but for most of us, yard work never ends. We're here to help make that job easier. If you're a landscaper looking to start, grow, or improve your business in 2025, I want to personally invite you to come see the many ways that Cato's Power Equipment can help. Come see us at 4012 West Beltline Boulevard or always online at catospowerequipment.com.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. This really is the most wonderful time of the year at Love Chevy, with the biggest discounts of the year and the most abundant selection we've seen in decades. I-26 at Harbison and lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Are you a last-minute Larry? You know, the guy who is known for months that Christmas is coming, but you still haven't done your shopping yet. Fortunately, at Traditions Fine Jewelers, we specialize in helping last-minute Larrys navigate the Christmas shopping challenge. Our knowledgeable staff can help you find just the right gifts for all the special ones in your life. Count on it. Everybody likes jewelry, and we have the biggest selection and the best prices anywhere. So come see us on Sunset in Lexington and at the Fountain at Sandhills. Traditions Fine Jewelers, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas.
Honey, would you take a seat? I have a confession to make.
What is it? What's wrong?
Well, I was out driving today and I saw some hookers on the side of the road. A bunch of huge, professional, beautiful-looking hookers. So I did what I was supposed to do. I slowed down and I moved over.
You slowed down for the hookers?
Well, yeah, it's the law. There was a whole fleet of Schroeder's towing trucks assisting with an accident. Wait, what did you think I was talking about?
Schroeder's Towing reminds you to slow down and move over for all first responders.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
For appliances with Reliances, that's Jeffers McGill.
Come see the entire line of Whirlpool appliances at 1421 Atlas Road. Whirlpool offers bigger, better, and more efficient appliances, and Jeffers McGill offers the best in customer service and low prices. Jeffers McGill and Whirlpool, your home team.
For appliances with Reliances, that's Jeffers McGill.
Hi, this is Benjamin Drinkwater with the South Carolina Ballet. Happy holidays to you and your family.
AAA Heating and Air is on the hunt to find the oldest AC unit in our Midland service area. Do you think it could be yours? If you do, it could pay off. AAA Heating and Air and My Oldest AC contest is kicking off, and you have a chance to win a new HVAC system for your home. Just head over to their website, myoldAir.com, and complete the online entry form. AAA Heating and Air will draw a winner at random for every 100 entries. It really is that easy. Contest is limited time only. Residents in the AAA Heating and Air service area are eligible to enter. See the terms and rules on their website for a full list of contest rules.
rules.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join our growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
O'Shea Jackson Jr. and TJ Jefferson bring their unique take on sports entertainment with no contest wrestling, with guests like WWE Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff.
You are an excellent villain. No, I appreciate that.
Did that ever just kind of wear on you sometimes?
The only time it got difficult is when they weren't doing loudly enough. As long as I could get the crowd to hate me, that means we were making money and we were doing things right. So the more the better.
The No Contest Wrestling Podcast, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network, wherever you listen.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet
on the Game Network.
What we're talking about, maybe just woke up. It's like, what went on in the sports world? I've got no clue. Well, if you were really out of it yesterday, you missed South Carolina's win over Radford, which was an interesting basketball game at CLA for the men. It was a little nip and tuck there in the first half. Radford led 36-30 at the break, where South Carolina kind of sleptwalked through it, to be honest. Offensively, missing open shots. They had open looks, just couldn't nail them. Defensively, not the intensity you would want, and Radford goes to break with a 6-point lead. And in the second half, though, Gamecocks came out actually interested and took it to Radford, outscoring Radford 44-12 in the second half, winning by 26, 74-48. Here's Lamont Paris, cut to Ed Bird, talking about why maybe the Gamecocks were a bit flat in the first half against Radford.
Not to make an excuse, if it's going to sound like an excuse, it is for these guys. There's so many things that they're processing and trying to get ready for and travel, and I don't think one guy, we moved the game to 2:00 on purpose so the guys that were going to be close enough could travel. That ends up being almost everybody. I don't know if anybody's going to be here in the morning. They're all going to leave tonight. So, they got a lot of things and it's a month ago they're starting to talk about Christmas plans. I'm like, can we get to December before we start talking about Christmas? But there were a lot, and then we settled down. It was effort. It was effort and concentration related. I hate to say that. And we made a couple threes in the second half. It would have looked a little bit different if we made some of those. We got some good looks in the first half. But then we also offensive rebounded our misses to the tune of 8 on 17 misses, right? I think it was effort. We held them to 12 points. Okay, did they miss a couple? Sure. But we also drew the line in the sand way earlier than what we were doing in the first half. So it just was a classic case of the tale of two halves. All I wanted to do going into the game was crush them by 1 point. I'll be honest with you. That's all I wanted to do, and we were able to do that.
I love Lamont Paris. Just crush them by 1 point. I just want to get a win and get out. And, look, what Lamont's saying, you can roll your eyes and go, yeah, there's the excuse train. But, yeah, I mean, look, you got a bunch of guys. You come off a Clemson win where you beat a ranked team. It was your biggest win of the year. You're going into the holidays. All these dudes are trying to figure out, get home, see family, see friends, whatever. And, Radford's coming up. Who? Where's Radford at? Never heard of him. And, again, Lamont Paris can show cut-ups all day about how dangerous Radford is. And Radford's one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. But you can't, again, these college players are like, yeah, Radford, whatever, man. And so you're not as intense and focused as you'd like to be. And you go out there and you kind of slog through the first half. You get to the locker room and you're going, how are we losing by 6? Oh, we're not playing as hard as we could be. Oh, okay. Well, should do something about that. And then South Carolina went out and handled business massively. And started with the defense in the second half. Let's get to cut 6, Ed. Lamont Paris in the postgame talking to Derek and Judge Manning about what the Gamecocks did defensively to kick it into gear in the second half.
Some of our ball screen stuff was better. It was soft and loose. We were more aggressive. We were doing a better job of providing resistance on drivers. In the first half, they got into the paint, pivoted around a bunch of times, and then made some shots. They did it a couple times in the second half, but I thought our resistance was better at the point of attack, and then our ball screen coverage. We were a little bit better in our ball screen coverage. We were a little less aggressive in the middle ball screens in terms of with a hard hedge type situation. Mm-hmm. We kind of limited that to anything that was on the wings, and then went back to a different coverage, a little softer coverage in the middle.
So basically, tweaking some stuff on defense with the ball screen defense, ratcheting up the intensity, boxing out to keep Radford off the glass, especially the offensive glass. And that kind of was the momentum into what you saw in the second half. Obviously, you scored 44 points. You were more efficient on offense than you were in the first half. A lot of that was getting to the line. South Carolina got to the line 27 times. Radford got there 13. But the Gamecocks made 25 of those 27 free throws. Remember, this is a team that's been scuffling at the line. They were shooting under 70% as a team coming into the game, and they shot 93% against Radford. Remember, the reason the Clemson game went to overtime because the Gamecocks went 1 for 4 at the end of the game from the line. So, man, if you can start making free throws, first of all, get into the line. If you can get to the line consistently and then make your free throws when you get there, again, you know this. You watch hoops, it's free points. No one's guarding you at the free throw line. So that was huge for South Carolina, outscoring Radford 25-8 at the line in this basketball game. Twice as many trips to the line. Also rebounding. South Carolina won the war 42-24 and got more offensive rebounds than one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. And Radford 11-6 on the offensive glass. So just got to go in the second half. Got after it. Colin Murray-Boyle's usual efficient self, 6 of 10 from the floor, made all 3 of his free throws, also 7 rebounds, 3 assists for 15. Leading scorer, Jamari Thomas, 5-11 from the floor, 4 threes in the game on 6 attempts, 4 for 4 from the line. No one gets to the line more on this team than Jamari Thomas. He's just got to start shooting a higher percentage, and 4 for 4 is a nice start. 4 rebounds, a couple of dimes, 3 turnovers. Thomas is starting to find his way as a scorer. Now, he's never going to be Talon Cooper, ever. He's a different kind of guard. He's more of a scorer and more of a kind of looking for his. Can he pass the ball? Yes, but he just, Talon Cooper was a pass-first point guard, which I think are gold. I mean, Thomas can do a lot of things for you. It's just different. To me, you continue to run the offense through Colin Murray-Boyles. Right now, he's your best passer, facilitator. That's the dude who's got to touch the rock every time down the court. Nick Pringle, too. I mean, Nick Pringle, 10 of 10 from the line, only took 1 shot in the game. He made it. So Nick Pringle, a perfect night, 11 for 11, 10 of 10 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, and Pringle dished out 4 dimes. When you got bigs who have 7 of your 12 assists, I mean, that's a good thing because your bigs are, they're recognizing the moments to kick. But you'd like to see your guards also be a little bit more active in the facilitating game. And Cam Scott, we didn't talk about this yet. Cam Scott, off the bench, 9 points, 3 of 7 from the floor, hit a couple of threes. You want to get Cam Scott going. He's really scuffled. Again, he's a freshman, but he's really scuffled in the early portions of the season. Be nice to get some productivity from Cam Scott off the bench. He led all the reserves with 9. So you got it done. You handled your business. You beat Radford. You'll come back on the 30th and play Presbyterian. That should be a W. And you'll move into SEC Conference play at 10-3 with your only bad loss, that loss to North Florida. The other 2 losses, Xavier and Indiana. Totally understandable. Also, if you just woke up, Eric Singleton Jr., Georgia Tech wide receiver, the number 1 receiver, number 3 overall player in the transfer portal, is signing with, or has signed with, Auburn. I mean, Singleton earned freshman All-America honors, second in the voting for ACC Offensive Rookie of the Year. He will go to Auburn, and the goal is for the folks on the Plains to team up with Jackson Arnold, the quarterback who just transferred in from Oklahoma. All of a sudden, Auburn might have a more consistent passing game. It was better last year with Peyton Thorne, but no one's ever going to look at Peyton Thorne and go, wow, that guy reminds me of Peyton Manning. No. So Auburn doing some stuff through the transfer portal to upgrade the explosiveness and overall efficiency of that offense. That's what went on if you've been sleeping for a long time, like hours, almost 24 hours. That's what's been going on in the sports world. Firehouse Sub Text the Hour is next, 803-404-6100, the halftime show. Terry Ford, Ed Bird's here, making sure we don't, say anything really stupid that would get us fined. We're here till 3 on The Game.
The Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
It's back! The Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest. Just go to 1075thegame.com and register. The pot starts at $100. Every week it increases $100 if Carolina doesn't score a special teams touchdown. But if the Gamecocks do score a special teams touchdown, you could win the pool. Again, just go to 1075thegame.com and register. It's the Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest from 1075 The Game.
This is Andrew Perloff with a Sports Minute. The Eagles' 10-game win streak was ended by the Commanders yesterday, but the loss isn't the biggest issue. Quarterback Jalen Hurts left the game with a concussion. The team won a Super Bowl with a backup in 2017, but they were the number 1 seed that year. Unfortunately, hard to see backup Kenny Pickett being the next Nick Foles. I'm Andrew Perloff.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. Classes start January 8th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-214-1515. That's 800-214-1515. 800-214-1515.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Fabric Talk.
Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Febreze Fabric Spray? Oh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
It's time for Text of the Hour on the Firehouse Subs text line on the Halftime Show.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence. And the 107.5 The Game app.
Time to get our Firehouse Subtext, the hour 803-404-6100. Unnamed texter. Yep, love the college football games on campus, but hated the games once they started. Need more competitive first-round games moving forward, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, just those games were tough. Not a whole lot of excitement. I mean, except for, with the coin toss. And Clemson made it a one-score game in the fourth quarter against Texas, and then Texas, popped it back out to 14, and the Tigers got stopped inside the, fourth and goal at the Texas 2 or 3 or whatever it was. And then that was it, all she wrote, pretty much. So, yeah, these games weren't very compelling or exciting, but, again, this is the first year of the college football playoff. The quarterfinals, we'll get into that later. We're just going to see chalk run through. I mean, there's no, wow, great team like we've had in the past so many years with Georgia or Bama or whatever. All these teams have flaws, and all these teams are beatable. But if the teams that we look at as the top dogs, even if they do have flaws, if they're playing their A game on that day, they're really tough to beat. I mean, Ohio State was on their A-plus game, and they kicked a good Tennessee team all over the field. SMU and Indiana Penn State, Notre Dame just looked better. I mean, a lot of people are jumping on this Notre Dame bandwagon now. I mean, you beat Indiana, whose resume is questionable, sketchy, but I don't know if I'm ready to put Notre Dame in the college football playoff championship game. But, yeah, these games were not very fun to watch for the most part. But the campus atmosphere is really cool. I really enjoyed that. So I appreciate the text, 803-404-6100. Hey, we got a little transfer portal news. South Carolina lands a commitment through the portal. Linebacker Sean Murphy, we talked about him last hour, was the 65th rated player in the country according to On3 when he was coming out of high school. So a top 70 prospect. He was the number 2 player from the state of Virginia, number 6 linebacker in the 2022 class. Went to Bama, transferred to Florida State. Just really hasn't gotten a whole lot of run in his career. And there's been an injury involved in that as well. But a lot of potential upside, athletic. A guy that was looked at as a sideline-to-sideline type linebacker coming out of high school. Just got to get healthy and develop. And the health seems to be no problem at all. So we will see how Sean Murphy does, former 4-star coming out of high school in Clayton White's defense. So linebacker Sean Murphy of Florida State has committed to South Carolina through the portal. So there's some good news. And we'll see where that goes. A guy, again, not productivity, but a lot of potential and upside. Just hasn't really gotten it done. Injury his first season, didn't get on the field, hasn't gotten a field a ton in his first 2 years. So that just popped that South Carolina will land Sean Murphy, linebacker from Florida State through the portal. Terry Ford, happy you could hang out with us on the halftime show here on The Game. And, as we have discussed, the first 4 games of college football playoff, you look at teams like SMU and Indiana and how poorly they played. And if you're South Carolina, Ole Miss, and Alabama, you're just shrugging your shoulders. You're like, really? That's where we're at? I think one of the biggest problems with all this is the scheduling piece. I mean, playing in the SEC is just tougher than playing in the ACC or playing in the Big Ten. We try to paint the Big Ten as close or comparable to the SEC. It's not. Look, did Ohio State beat Tennessee? Yes. But in the big picture, what does that mean? The SEC is not going to win every playoff game that they're in, or every bowl game that they're in, or every non-conference game that they're in. But they're going to win more than they lose. They're going to win a lot more than they lose. And they're just better programs. I mean, not to be mean, Ohio State and possibly Oregon, really the only two programs right now in the Big Ten that are really competitive nationally. And that's it. You know, the Big Ten is not the SEC. It's just not. But we try to act like it is. Indiana going 11-1 in the Big Ten is not the same as Alabama, South Carolina, or Ole Miss going 9-3 in the SEC. Just not. It's not the same. There's got to be a way to make these schedules make sense to where you get a better gauge of teams. Not just look at their one-loss records, but looking at their strength of schedule as well as the other metrics that you're going to put an eye on. But it all comes back to scheduling. How can you make scheduling more uniform and fair that teams are getting challenged and there's not such a big discrepancy in these strength of schedules? All right, football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. That's coming up next here on The Game. Halftime show, Terry Ford, Ed Bird, hanging out till 3.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
It's the most wonderful time of the year again, and if you're needing to buy Christmas gifts, you just gotta come see us at Traditions Fine Jewelers. We have more amazing choices to suit every budget and every taste. From diamonds to gold to precious gemstones, and our prices are simply incredible. Like 1 carat total weight diamond studs, just $4.99, or 2 carat total weight studs, just $9.99. Nothing says I love you like a gift of fine jewelry. And at Traditions, you can count on getting more for your money. Traditions Fine Jewelers on Sunset in Lexington and at the Fountain at Sand Hills. Wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas.
Hey, it's Kat from the Tile Shop. Whether you're building a new home or looking to update your current one, come on down to our showroom with over 70 displays. They'll be sure to inspire you. We carry everything from porcelain to natural stone, guaranteeing there's something for every taste. Our expert design team will walk you through the process, making it fun and easy. We're located at 275 Harbison Boulevard, right next to Total Wine, or check out our amazing visualizer on thetileshop.com. That's thetileshop.com.
If you have an IRS problem, getting accurate legal advice could help get all this behind you right now. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. To get the best results for our clients, we stay on top of the law and the IRS rules and regulations. It's important to us to get you back on track and in compliance legally without worry for your future. At the Ecton Law Firm, we've handled hundreds of cases for everyday hardworking people like you right here in the Carolinas. Don't face the IRS alone. Know your legal rights. Call me to set up your appointment. The first visit is completely free and confidential. You'll meet with a licensed attorney in person at our office in Irmo, just off I-26. If you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, John Ecton, at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to EctonLawFirm.com. Carolinas, if you have an IRS issue, you need a local attorney. You need me, John Ecton.
Calling all business owners and property managers. Is it finally time to get that parking lot or driveway repaved? Call Black Seal today. Black Seal is a locally owned commercial asphalt construction and maintenance company, servicing local churches, schools, shopping centers, warehouses, restaurants, you name it. If it needs asphalt paving or asphalt repair, Black Seal has you covered. If you're looking to pave your parking lot or driveway, Black Seal paves the way. Black Seal also provides maintenance options to maintain your asphalt and improve your curb appeal. Get your free estimate and visit blacksealsc.com to learn more.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal right now. Get up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Yes, you heard that right. Up to $20,000 off. Don't wait. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Chevy, together let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
Even if you haven't seen them yet, you know they're coming. Weeds. I'm Paul Romanstein, proud owner of Midlands Landscape and Lawns. And now is the time to get started on that beautiful lawn. Sign up for our Midlands Green Treatment Program and our lawn experts will give your turf the fertilization it needs while conquering the weeds. Aren't you ready to have a green, lush lawn this year? Give us a try. Midlands Landscape and Lawns. Schedule an appointment today on hateweeds.com. That's right, hateweeds.com.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Hey, this is South Carolina DQ Smith. You listen to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus Media Station.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
Not feeling like yourself? Call the Men's Clinic at 803-875-MENS.
It's 1 o'clock. That means football. Football. And more football on the Halftime Show.
Is sponsored by Atlantic Window and Door. Go to awdsc.com.
On the Game Network and the 107.5 The Game app.
You ever sit your headphones just like down or your earbuds and you pick them up and for some reason now they're in a big knot and you don't know how that happened and why? They're all jacked up. You're like, I just laid them down. What the hell happened here? I just spent like the last 5 minutes. You know when you spin them around to get them unknotted? Yes. Should have left the video on. You could have watched me do it. It's quite exciting. It's like watching somebody like, I don't know. Somebody sit and stitch you a quilt. Or maybe somebody doing some exciting scrapbooking. Anyway, football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors, in case you missed it. Sean Murphy committing to South Carolina out of the portal from Florida State. Murphy, 4-star recruit coming out of high school, top 70 recruit in the country. It just hasn't happened for him since he's been in college. A lot of upside, a lot of potential, athletic guy. The hope was he'd be an athletic sideline-to-sideline type linebacker. We'll see if that can happen in South Carolina, but Sean Murphy through the portal to the Gamecocks. Let's see if Clayton White and the crew can develop him. If they can, they got themselves something. Also, this just took a look at the red shirt situation for South Carolina going into 2025. Because obviously Gamecocks are losing some very important pieces. Eligibility-wise, how's this team setting up? The freshmen who have burned their shirts and will be sophomores next year, obviously Dylan Stewart, best freshman edge pass rusher in the country. Wide receiver Mazeo Bennett. Linebacker J.R. Johnson. He played a ton of special teams. He will be counted on next year to step up in some way, shape, or form at linebacker. David Busey, safety. Again, tons of special teams for Busey. Josiah Thompson started 11 games at left tackle. Had an injury issue in the Vanderbilt game that had him sit out against Missouri. Michael Smith, tight end. There were some moments you could see Michael Smith. You can see why the coaching staff really liked him coming into the season. Caught 9 balls for 96 yards. The blocking has got to get better, obviously, and he can other development, route tree, things of that nature. But you can see the potential of Michael Smith at tight end. Freshman will definitely redshirt. Defensive back Kelvin Hunter played in 3 games. Jalewis Solomon played in 3 games. Those guys, you could see them down the road helping out because both were looked at, especially Solomon. There were people who thought that Solomon would get more playing time this year. Those are guys that, as time moves on, you can see them being a bigger part of the defensive backfield of Carolina. Blake Franks, offensive lineman. Wendell Gregory, linebacker / edge. Gregory will be an interesting player moving forward next year. Again, a 4-star coming out of high school. Matthew Fuller at running back. Depending on what happens in the running back room, I think South Carolina will add a veteran running back in some way, shape, or form. If it's Justice Haynes, Haynes obviously will get the inside track to be the starter. If you bring in another guy that can be part of a rotation, Matthew Fuller would be one of the names that will pop up to get more playing time, as would Jawarn Howell, who's also redshirting. Will get a red shirt. Those two guys could be getting some, and Oscar Attaway if he comes back. So we'll see how the running back situation plays out. But Matthew Fuller will keep his red shirt. Cam Pringle will red shirt as well. Pringle, 4-star offensive lineman coming out of high school, played 6 snaps at guard against Akron, but didn't play in any other games. Dante Reno only played in 1 game. He will also be redshirting as well. Non-freshman redshirts. Nick Barrett at interior defensive line only played in 4 games. Barrett will be a senior next year. Obviously, this seemed to be calculated because you're losing a lot of your interior in Boogie and Tonka, DeAndre Jules. TJ Sanders will be going to the NFL draft. You need bodies. Nick Barrett gets redshirted. He'll be one of those guys, get a lot more run next year, as will Monkel Goodwine. He's very interesting to me. You saw him a little bit during the season. I mean, he was part of the rotation, didn't get a lot of snaps compared to the other guys in the interior. But you can see why he was so highly thought of coming out of high school. He'll have a bigger role this year. But, again, Goodwine, not a red shirt. But Goodwine will get a lot of opportunity to play in 2025. So that's kind of the deal with the red shirt situation with South Carolina. The final tally, so to speak, with the red shirt tracker. All right, it's football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. We now have quarterfinal matchups in the college football playoff. Just thoughts off the top of my head. Oregon, Ohio State. First of all, this should not be a quarterfinal game. This should be like a semifinal or a final. But it's got to get fixed. Look, teams can have the automatic bid if they win their conference championship game. Got zero issue with that whatsoever. Just like college basketball. You win your conference championship game, you got an automatic bid. But you can't give them top seeds, a top 4 seed, just because they won their conference championship game. That makes zero sense. Look, I love Boise State. Like I said earlier today, I'm rooting for Boise State against Penn State. I got my Boise State sweatshirt from when I lived out there. I'm going to slap that sucker on for the next round. But I don't think Boise State should be a 3 seed. I don't think Arizona State should be a 4. I just don't. This thing should get reseeded. I mean, right now, Oregon's the 1. I get it. Georgia, even without their starting quarterback, is the 2. But like Ohio State should be the 3. And Texas should be the 4. Or Penn State, however you want to do it. Boise State and Arizona State should be sitting at 7 and 8. Just saying. So this Oregon-Ohio State game shouldn't be played in the quarterfinals. It's at the Rose Bowl. Ohio State played them tough in Eugene, lost by 3. Remember, Will Howard brain cramped at the end. The Ohio State quarterback slid. No time was left. Buckeyes, we're done. Only down by 3. Look, Oregon is really good on offense. They're explosive. They're efficient. Love Dylan Gabriel. Oregon's going to move the ball on you and score points. The Oregon defense, though, I kind of had a little question mark the way Penn State ran over them in the second half of that Big Ten championship game. Oregon won. They had enough cushion. They had a lead and they held it because, again, the offense was so good. But Penn State's run game really gave Oregon trouble. Ohio State can run the ball with Henderson and Judkins. Heck, Ohio State can throw the ball with a room of wide receivers led by the young fellow Jeremiah Smith. I don't know about Oregon's defense. I really don't. Not in a neutral site game in Pasadena. I mean, I feel like Ohio State if Ohio State plays anywhere as well as they did over the weekend, they beat Oregon. But that's going to be a good game. Well, let's hope at this point. Arizona State, Texas. Look, Texas is better on paper. Full stop. Texas is a better team on paper. But Texas, they leave teams in. I mean, they had Clemson blown out. They were clearly better than Clemson for 2.5 quarters? Then they let Clemson back in the game, and the Tigers cut it to 1 score. There's something about Texas. Remember last year, got beat by UW in the college football playoffs in the semis. You leave the door open against Arizona State, because remember, Arizona State, here are all the teams that were picked behind Arizona State in the Big 12. Yep, that's it. Arizona State was picked dead last in the Big 12 by a lot of folks. They not only had a hell of a season, they win the Big 12 championship game. They're in the college football playoff. They are rolling with house money. They're a great story. Young head coach in Ken Dillingham. That Arizona State better not screw that up by compensating Dillingham, or he'll be the next head coach somewhere else in a year or two. He's from Tempe. Dude lived right down the road from the university. His wife went to Arizona State. This guy's family is all over the place in Tempe. If Arizona State doesn't pay Dillingham what they should at some point when it's time to redo that deal and he leaves, they all should be fired. It's that simple. That's how great a story Arizona State is. We'll see what the staying power is after this year, to be fair. But it seems like Arizona State is absolutely heading down the right road. And if Texas screws around, these are the kind of Cinderella teams that beat you. So Texas, you got to keep the foot on the gas for 60 minutes. Texas plays great for 35 minutes, 40 minutes. But it feels like they get bored and get sleepy. Sort of like Ed Bird is right now in the producer room. So if you're Texas, don't mess around with Arizona State. You're the better team. Don't blow it. I am rooting like nobody's business for Boise State. But I just feel like Penn State is going to do what a lot of teams have tried to do. They're going to put 35 guys at the line of scrimmage and to stop Ashton Jeanty, and they're going to force Boise State to throw the ball. Now, here's the thing. Teams have put 50 guys at the line of scrimmage against Boise State all year, and they couldn't shut down Jeanty. This is far and away the best defense against the run that Boise State's going to face all year. They played Oregon, but Oregon's run defense not as good as Penn State's. If Penn State shuts down the Boise State run game, I don't think the Broncos are going to be able to throw the ball well enough to win. I think that's where the problem happens. Hope I'm wrong, but I think that will be the issue that tilts this thing. And Georgia with old Gunner at quarterback, Gunner Stockton, and not Carson Beck, that's what we feel like is going to happen. Notre Dame now has a better chance. If Georgia's healthy at quarterback, I think the Bulldogs handle Notre Dame by a couple scores. Without your starting quarterback, we'll see. I think Georgia can still beat Notre Dame, but this becomes much tougher. Now, you've had weeks to prepare your backup quarterback. So we'll see how that goes. I think Georgia still wins, but it'll be much tighter. That's my feeling. That's a quick look at the quarters in the college football playoff. Football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. Kirk Herbstreit kind of took a little jab at the First Take crew, a little ESPN on ESPN violence. Took a little jab about Ohio State. We'll get into that next. Also, it was a fun few days in the NFL. We'll get to that as well. It's football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. Terry Ford, Ed Bird's here. We're cooking till 3 on the game.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach.
The Game Network.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
The Game TV. 107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
This is John. And this is Jeremy of Mosley's Diamond Showcase. And we are celebrating an incredible 47th year in the Midlands. Unfortunately, this will be our last Christmas at our Columbia location. As we say goodbye to our Broad River store, we celebrate our first Christmas at our newest location in Chapin. In honor of this, enjoy discounts starting at 30% and going to an incredible 70% off on select items, including natural and lab-grown diamonds, perfect for every taste and budget. Don't worry if you can't make it to Columbia. You can find these deals at our other showrooms at Lexington and Chapin. From our family to yours, Merry Christmas.
Firehouse Subs, Hook and Ladder jingle, take one.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin slice.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast bread, mustard, mayo, purpose bread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants.
Exciting news! TEC Equipment's year-end clearance is happening now. Dive into amazing deals on all new and used in-stock equipment. Call them or visit any of their 3 locations, West Columbia, Orangeburg, and Somerville. And guess what? You can snag Takeuchi equipment with 0% financing for 60 months. Plus, don't miss out on their fantastic range of Skag equipment. TEC Equipment's year-end clearance is happening now. Check it all out at tecrental.com. That's tecrental.com. Get ready to save big.
Are you going to start the new year dealing with the same old joint pain, losing sleep, not being able to take walks? Or do you want to imagine a new year without those achy joints and no more pain pills? So do it now. Take action and get the pain relief you deserve for 2025. Call QC Kinetics now for lasting relief. QC Kinetics local medical professionals are waiting for you, and their advanced treatment protocols in regenerative medicine have helped tens of thousands of people. So imagine a new year. No more steroid shots, no more pain pills, and no more shoulder aches. QC Kinetics uses the body's healing properties to attack the root cause of your pain and revitalize your joints so you can move again. This is the future of medicine. So if you've been told that surgery is your best or only option, you deserve a second opinion. So find out now if all natural regenerative medicine is for you. Call QC Kinetics at 803-281-6860. That's 803-281-6860. This consultation is free, and you can use your HSA and FSA dollars. Live your best life in 2025. Get started now.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
Pete Ale Wine Pool and Spa is the place for all things swimming pool and hot tub. Need a new vinyl liner? This is the perfect time of year to have your faded or worn out liner replaced. Call or come see us to repair, replace, or upgrade your existing equipment. Want to cover your pool to keep out all those fall leaves? A new safety cover is the answer, and it's safe for the kids and pets. That's Pete Ale Wine Pool and Spa, 5541 Sunset Boulevard. You'll find us on Facebook or online at PeteAleWinePools.com.
Have you had a broken windshield compliments of those South Carolina roads? The insurance company might try to steer you one way, to the big national guy. But remember, it's your choice. Go local. Call Absolute Glass.
We can repair your car back to factory specifications, including recalibrating all of your safety systems. We do great work and have been building long-lasting relationships for over 20 years.
That's why we've been voted Best Glass Company in Lexington for 15 straight years. Visit us online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com or call us at 951-7200. And remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
Got something to say?
Bring us up on the Love Chevy phone line
at 803-404-6100. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 100.5 The Game in Florence. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina, on your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence. And the 107.5 The Game app.
We roll football, the 1 o'clock hour here on The Game, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out with us. Ed Bird's here. Tyler off for the week. Again, wants to be with his family. What's up with that? I don't know. It's a little weird. I always joke, I'll go see the family, hang out with them. By Christmas afternoon, all the gifts are open. Hey, Tara, don't you have to go back to work? Don't you have stuff to do? We started the car for you. Open the door. So Tyler will be back on a week from today. He'll be rolling back in. All right. As we do football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. Kirk Herbstreit talking about the folks on First Take and their discussions about Ryan Day. Now, again, First Take is Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp. And Kirk Herbstreit said First Take tried to get Ryan Day fired. They thought he was done. It'll be exciting to see what they talk about on Monday after this performance, of course, of Ohio State blowing out Tennessee. They had him out trying to find his replacements, but here he is, still got his hat on, still coaching. I mean, on First Take, from what I'm reading, because I really don't watch the show, they were pushing for like Deion Sanders, saying pay the almost $40 million buyout if Ohio State loses. I guess to be fair. And then Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp, they shot back. And, not a shock that they would shoot back, especially Shannon Sharp. But, what do you say? You say that, Ohio State stepped up. And to be fair, Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp and the First Take crew, they weren't the only one talking about Ryan Day. Everyone was talking about Ryan Day at Ohio State. The guys on the set at College Game Day were talking about Ryan Day. Ryan Day's record is what it is. Ryan Day can't be Michigan, and Ryan Day has struggled in the postseason in big games. And Ryan Day didn't build that program. Urban Meyer, you want to talk about, we always talk about you come in, the cupboards are bare. Those cupboards were stocked. And we're talking about fine, high-quality food. Ryan Day didn't build anything. And to be honest, Ryan Day hasn't kept it where Urban Meyer had it. Urban Meyer won a national championship. Urban Meyer's record was phenomenal. Urban Meyer smacked Michigan around all the time. Ryan Day, not so much. So, Ryan Day's one-loss record is pretty impressive overall. But in big games that matter in Columbus, Ohio, and the state of Ohio, Ryan Day has fallen short. You can't lose to Michigan 4 straight times. You can't lose to Michigan when they stink. Ryan Day has accomplished both of those things. Congratulations, Ryan Day. Good job. Way to go, man. Good work. So, for Kirk Herbstreit, look, to take a shot at just the First Take people, I think is a little unfair. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people were pointing at Ryan Day saying, bro, you got to start winning some big games at some point. You're going to be the ex-coach at Ohio State. So that was a big win. Do I think Ryan Day would have got fired if they would have lost to Tennessee? It depends. Like, if they would have got blown out by Tennessee, you could see a GoFundMe page to take care of that $37 million buyout. But if they just would have lost a close game to Tennessee, Ryan Day's probably coming back next year. I know it sounds stupid if you look at his one-loss record, but a very short leash. So it's a little unfair for Herbstreit just to go right after the guys on First Take. Because a lot of people were talking about Ryan Day and his future. And look, he's not out of the woods yet. He won a first-round game. Yippee. Good job, Ryan Day. But now you're in the quarterfinals. And if you get beat by Oregon, okay, Ohio State spent a ton of money in NIL to put together a really, really good team that didn't get out of the quarters of the college football playoff. It's kind of underachieving, not to be mean. It is. And look, I thought Tennessee would play better. Ohio State was phenomenal on Saturday night. Give them their props. But let's not start jumping up and down and, wanting to put statues up of Ryan Day. That was a win. It was a nice win. Ryan Day, I believe, his first college football playoff win? No, second, I think. One or two. I'm trying to do off the top of my head. This guy's not crushing it in the postseason, and he's lost to Michigan 4 straight times. So I think Kirk Herbstreit being a little, I don't know, just a point at Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp and the crew on First Take. A lot more people than just those two dudes had the bullseye on Ryan Day. Had a little red light all over his head. So, but again, that got us something to talk about because Herbstreit said it, and then Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp had their pushback, and a little ESPN on ESPN violence is always exciting. It really is. Look, James Franklin got a win. He's another guy. I mean, he can't win a big game. He's 1 in a billion against top 5 teams. And, James Franklin's in the locker room. It's not about me. It's not about bleeping me. It's about, look, man, you beat SMU. Great. And now you get Boise State. James Franklin should be in the college football playoff semifinals. If you lose to Boise State, again, come on, James. Beating SMU doesn't stamp James Franklin as, wow, now you're at near the next level, James. No, not really. It just means you beat a team you were a lot better than on your home field. Congratulations. Good for you, man. Nice work. But neither Day or Franklin, this doesn't stamp their tenures as, next level. You've crawled up the mountain. No, not really. Franklin's got a much better shot to get to the semifinals. He should get to the semifinals. Day's got a huge, won't be easy. Oregon's really good. And we'll see what happens. But I just was entertained by everything coming out on Sunday about what went down. And, Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame. Look, you beat Indiana at home. Indiana, We'll see what you got. You kind of drew a little good fortune because Georgia could be without Carson Beck, their starting quarterback. We'll see. We'll see. And Steve Sarkisian, you get Arizona State. You should win that game. You should. You got a college football playoff win at home against a team you were better than in Clemson. Of course, that's better the year before against a team you were better than, Washington. You lost in the college football playoff semis. So now you should stamp yourself to the semifinals with a win over Arizona State. Penn State should get there by beating Boise State. And the other 2 games, we'll see what goes on. But yeah, all this, Ryan Day, woo, James Franklin, woo. Well, let's just not get too crazy yet about either one of those cats. NFL was fun on Saturday and Sunday. A lot of close games, some interesting playoff positioning. We'll get into what happened in the National Football League next as we roll football, and more football in the 1 o'clock hour. It's sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. All right, real quick. Tomorrow, Christmas Day, and the 26th, we're going to shut this baby down. We're going to run our best of 2024, and also we'll have some NFL football on Christmas Day as well, with the Chiefs going to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. I believe the game's in Pittsburgh. But that's what we got going the next 3 days, and we pop back to our live and local on Friday morning at 6 with the early game. That's what's coming up here this week on the game during Christmas week. All right, more football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. Terry Ford, Ed Bird's here. We go till 3 on the game.
107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Hate paying for streaming? One more thing you got to stream and pay for? Well, the Game app is, wait for it, free.
It's free! It's free! It's free!
Yes, all you got to do is go to iTunes or Google Play and download the 107.5 The Game app and listen for nothing in all respects of the word. Nothing.
All right, you want to do stuff for the holidays, maybe give a gift to that special someone at home, maybe get some new appliances, maybe a nice tub in the bathroom, or put the tub in the living room, or wherever you want to put the tub. Maybe you want new fixtures, new lighting, new plumbing. There's one place to call, The Nest, Gadsden in the Vista. You just dial up 803-978-2025. Tell them what you want to do in the home. They will then transfer you to the expert on that particular idea you have. 70 years of experience at The Nest. You get the right folks on the phone. You tell them what you want to do. You tell them your budget. They will then bring you in with an appointment, walk you through the fantastic showroom, sit you down with a plan that will work in your budget, and boom, it's done. It's that simple. Again, 803-978-2025. Call The Nest. Gadsden in the Vista. Make those housing dreams come true with The Nest.
Honey, look, the hookers. They've moved off the highway and now they're all over the parking lot.
What are all those Schroeder's towing trucks doing in that parking lot, though?
Must be towing all those unauthorized cars parked in the lot. Good thing the business owner called Schroeder's Towing to keep their parking lot clear for just their customers. Didn't those cars see the free signage that Schroeder's provides to business owners to deter unauthorized parking?
I guess not.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Guys, get the perfect present at Rejuvenation's Medical Spa this Christmas. Magic Money. Call and ask one of the certified consultants to walk you through the best present under the tree. 781-1201.
Firehouse Subs, Hook and Ladder Jingle, take one.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin slice.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast bread, mustard, mayo, purpose bread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants.
This is John. And this is Jeremy of Mosley's Diamond Showcase. And we are celebrating an incredible 47th year in the Midlands.
Unfortunately, this will be our last Christmas at our Columbia location.
As we say goodbye to our Broad River store, we celebrate our first Christmas at our newest location in Chapin.
In honor of this, enjoy discounts starting at 30% and going to an incredible 70% off on select items, including natural and lab-grown diamonds, perfect for every taste and budget.
Don't worry if you can't make it to Columbia. You can find these deals at our other showrooms at Lexington and Chapin.
From our family to yours, Merry Christmas.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal right now. Get up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Yes, you heard that right. Up to $20,000 off. Don't wait. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Chevy, together let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet
on the Game Network.
What you're talking about, what we're talking about, we're all yapping about football. In the 1 o'clock hour every day here on the Halftime Show, it's sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. Terry Ford hanging, Ed Bird's here. Tyler will be back next week as we roll through the Christmas week here on the Game. All right, I mean, the NFL is good stuff. You know, Saturday All the college football playoffs are going. Steelers, Ravens, Chiefs, and Texans went at it. The Chiefs just keep winning. That's what they do, man. Patrick Mahomes is on one good ankle. Chiefs just keep finding a way. They just do. And honestly, they look pretty good on Saturday against the Texans. That's a way better than average Texans defense. And the Chiefs moved the ball well. They looked like they were getting it together. They've gotten healthier at wide receiver and running back. They moved their guard, Joe Thuney, who was a really good guard for a long time, out to left tackle because, well, they were desperate. Because their left tackle had become like the toll booth operator. Come on through, come on through, come on through. They had to do something because Patrick Mahomes was getting killed. They've shored up the offensive line. They've gotten healthier in some skill position spots. They look better than they have in a while on offense. And defensively, they've kind of gone through a little bit of a rut. They've gotten together, though, here recently and played better. So the Chiefs might be peaking at the right time, trying to pull that three-peat off. Look, it's not going to be easy. In the AFC, you got to deal with Buffalo. You got to deal with Pittsburgh and Baltimore as well. It won't be easy, but the Chiefs, I picked them to three-peat before the year started, and I never thought I would do that. Never thought I'd pick a team to win 3 in a row. But they just find a way, man. Now, you keep playing close games, eventually you're going to lose one. It's just the law of averages. We talk about it all the time. You keep playing with fire, you burn your face. So, but right now the Chiefs, that is the most complete they've looked in a while, is what they look Saturday against the Texans. You don't want to make too much of it. It's one game. It's 1 week. It's a week-to-week league. But that was, if you're a Chiefs fan, you're feeling pretty good moving forward from Saturday. Ravens finally beat the Steelers. It feels like it's been forever, me being a Ravens fan. Lamar Jackson, best game he's played against the Steelers in forever. And the Ravens did something. Sometimes you overthink things, right? You just do. Sometimes you overthink. Sometimes you make things more complex and more complicated than it really has to be. If you're the Ravens, when you play at your best on offense, you're very balanced. You just are. It's not a team that should be throwing it over 35 times a game. If Lamar throws it 25 or 30 and you're running it about 30 times, that's your formula. And now you got this big, gigantic human being who can run over 20-some miles an hour and can just step on people and break their soul, named Derrick Henry. First time Steelers and Ravens played, Derrick Henry should have been involved more. There were key moments in the game. Henry was standing on the sidelines with his helmet off, and you're going, what are you doing? Feels like, I don't know if the Ravens met up. The coaching staff, big conference rooms that everybody has. And just John Harbaugh looked over at his offensive coordinator, Mr. Monken. He says, bro, run 22 until he passes out. Ravens did it. Derrick Henry ran 24 times, 162 yards, averaged almost 7 yards a pop. Steelers had no answer to stop Derrick Henry. That took a lot of the load off of Lamar Jackson, and Jackson played much better through 3 touchdown passes. Did have a pick where it looked like the wide receiver Bateman stopped, and Jackson thought Bateman was going to keep on with the route, and it became a pick. But Russell Wilson said, don't worry, Lamar, I got you. I'm going to throw a pick 6. We're good. And the Ravens pulled away to beat the Steelers in a game that typically is much closer, 34-17. Now those teams are tied in the AFC North. But if the Steelers went out, and they've got the Chiefs and the Bengals, but if the Steelers went out, they win the division. But if they do lose and the Ravens win out, the Ravens win the division. Sunday, some interesting things happen. The Eagles-Commanders game was phenomenal, but there's no way the Eagles should lose this game. Anytime a team gift wraps you 5 turnovers, you have to win the game. Very simple. Eagles, despite forcing 5 Commander turnovers, found a way to lose and break their long win streak, which I think was 10 in a row. Washington had no business winning this game. But that young fella at quarterback, Jaden Daniels, he's got something. Was he perfect on Sunday? No. He made some mistakes, but he kept going. They kept playing to Washington. And they win the game on the final drive as Daniels throws a touchdown pass to Jamison Crowder. You know, Eagles had this game won. Reed Blankenship gets the pick of Daniels. Eagles are moving the ball. They're deep in D.C. territory. Kenny Pickett, who came in because Jalen Hurts had a concussion issue. Pickett threw a perfect pass. Devontae Smith, the ball hit him in the hands. And he dropped it. Smith makes that catch. It's first down inside the D.C. 15, maybe inside the 10. And now you pretty much can run the game out, or you score a touchdown, it's over, whatever the case. Smith dropped the pass. Eagles had to settle for a field goal. Commanders come downfield behind their fine young quarterback, and they get that W on the game-winning TD pass from Daniels to Crowder. See, here's the thing about Daniels. It's really good because Daniels is a wonderful story. He's massively skilled. He throws it. He runs it. And he has dragged Washington into the playoffs, or in the playoff picture, obviously. But here's the negative. When you draft a rookie quarterback, you want him to be Jaden Daniels. You're like, Jaden Daniels can do it. Why can't our guy do it? Why, if Jaden Daniels can crush it in his rookie year, why can't Caleb Williams, when Caleb Williams was given all these weapons? Why is Anthony Richardson still, when he throws the ball, he hits somebody in the face in the stands? Why? Why can't these guys be better if this guy's so good? What's up with Bryce Young? Look at Jaden Daniels. Because quarterbacks don't develop the same. Some quarterbacks are put in great positions to succeed while others aren't. It depends on the organization, the coaching, the players around them. How do they build the team around this player? Do they build the offense around his skill set? Is he playing too early in his career? Does he need to sit down more? You know, Jaden Daniels played a long time in college. Remember, he was at Arizona State before he went to LSU. Played a lot of football. Anthony Richardson has played very little football and is very raw and should never have started last year right out the gate in Indianapolis. Huge mistake. Wasn't ready at all. All these situations are different, and you have to treat them different. Just because Jaden Daniels is really good doesn't mean every rookie quarterback should step in and be Jaden Daniels. You wish they would be, but they're not. It's just not the way it works. But excellent deal for the Commanders. Well, once you get rid of your scumbag owner, things just go better for you. It's strange. All right, in the NFC, Lions win. Wasn't a surprise. They beat the Bears. And the Vikings keep going. They went to Seattle, beat the Seahawks in a nail-biter 27-24. Vikings are 13-2. Lions also 13-2. And here's the thing. The Lions, we get the Lions. We've been talking about the Lions all year. Dan Campbell, all gas, no brakes, baby. We go for every fourth down, even fourth and 30. Hell yeah, why not? We eat glass. We're the Lions. But nobody's talking about the Vikings. And to me, it's very simple. 2 words. Sam Darnold. Nobody believes in Sam Darnold. You just don't. Because what Sam Darnold's doing right now in Minnesota, he had another good game on Sunday. Makes no sense. We watched Sam Darnold stumble his way through playing in New York with the Jets, also playing in Carolina with the Panthers. And we were like, this guy's seeing ghosts. Remember that story. Forget the fact he was a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. It's like, he was a bust. Sam Darnold's 6th in the NFL. Sam Darnold, if you look at numbers, passer rating in the NFL, if you look at the leaders, guess who's 4th? Sam Darnold. Quarterback rating of 108. He's up there with Joe Burrow and Jared Goff and Lamar Jackson. Sam bleeping Darnold. Now, again, he's got 11 picks, so he's still throwing the ball to the other team too much. 32 touchdown passes. Yes, Sam Darnold. Completing almost 70% of his passes. Who? Sam Darnold. I know. I'm waiting for him to become Sam Darnold again, too. But everyone is. That's why no one gives the Vikings any respect. Because at some point, everybody says Sam Darnold's going to become Sam Darnold again. So far, he hasn't. And the Vikings are really good on defense. Nobody blitzes more than Minnesota. Offensively, they can run the ball with Aaron Jones. They've got weapons at wide receiver like nobody's business, led by Justin Jefferson. This is a really good football team. And right now, Sam Darnold is playing like a guy who was a top 5 pick in the NFL draft, not like a first-round bust that he looked like with the Jets and with the Carolina Panthers. It's crazy, I know. Must be a sign of the apocalypse. All right, Firehouse Sub Text the Hour coming up, 803-404-6100. We're rolling the halftime show. It's football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. Terry Ford, Ed Bird hanging out with you on the game.
The Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
It's back! The Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest. Just go to 1075thegame.com and register. The pot starts at $100. Every week it increases $100 if Carolina doesn't score a special teams touchdown. But if the Gamecocks do score a special teams touchdown, you could win the pool. Again, just go to 1075thegame.com and register. It's the Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest from 1075 The Game.
This is Andrew Bogish with a Sports Minute sponsored by TGL, presented by SoFi, beginning January 7th on ESPN. Keep up, it's golf. After 4 duds over the weekend, I am not rethinking who's in the CFP bracket, but I am thinking about tweaks for that bracket. We need to seed teams straight up, not based on conference championships. Maybe we need fewer first-round buys, and again, we need to reseed after each round. I'm Andrew Bogish.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer-dropping, overtime forcing, layoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com and tune into the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up, it's golf.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-770-2727. 800-770-2727.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
I love spreading joy with gifts this time of year, but I try not to spread my budget too thin. Luckily, Kohl's has come through for me once again. I just went and used a 25% off coupon to score so many great gifts under $20, like cozy pajamas and fleece, amazing gift sets, and beauty must-haves. So if you're looking to give more for less this season, get to Kohl's. Select styles, offers end December 24th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
After you use Bounce Dryer sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on it every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Put a sheet on it. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Put a sheet on it. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry, put a sheet on it with Bounce.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can easily find coverage options that fit your budget. If only it was that easy to name your baby.
How about Jaden?
Nope.
Okay. Michael?
Went to middle school with a glue-eating Michael.
Sebastian?
Dated one in college.
How about Damien?
Vampire name.
All right. Greg?
Not feeling it.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Jeffrey?
Oh, love that one.
Wait, really?
No.
Find coverage options that fit your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
It's time for Text of the Hour on the Firehouse Subs text line on the Halftime Show.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence. And the 107.5 The Game app.
Oh, time to get our Firehouse subtext, the hour 803-404-6100. Anonymous texter says, don't worry, Tara. Sam Darnold will once again become Sam Darnold. Guaranteed. Signed the New York Jets. It feels like, if you think about it for a minute, we've had some reclamation projects when it comes to NFL players, right? Or quarterbacks. We've seen Geno Smith revive his career in Seattle, right? Yeah. We've seen Sam Darnold revive his career in Minnesota. What do they have in common? Former Jets quarterbacks. Maybe it's the Jets. No. That Wilson guy he's gone too. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer. He hasn't been very good. Except the last few weeks, he's been better, but still. Maybe it's the Jets. Maybe there's a stink on the Jets. And by the way, before we leave the Jets, that athletic piece coming out about Woody Johnson, the awful dysfunctional owner with the Jets, just makes them look even more of a clown show with the kids running around the locker room with their friends. Kid giving out a game ball to a player, which you don't do. The kids, telling dad, hey, Dad, don't trade for that guy. I don't like his Madden rating. Forget like Woody Johnson as an owner. What the hell is Woody Johnson doing as a dad? Control your kids, dude. Can't let your kids run around a locker room. What are you doing? It's ridiculous. You're listening. You're checking. Hey, you're kids. Hey, what's the Madden rating on this player before we trade for him? Really? Is that what we're doing? I wonder if the Jets are a sinkhole. Jeez. Anyway, appreciate the text, 803-404-6100. If you haven't heard, South Carolina has gotten a commitment through the transfer portal today. Sean Murphy, a four-star prospect coming out of high school, linebacker, just hasn't gotten it going so far. He's a ton of potential, athletic guy. You can envision him being a sideline-to-sideline athletic linebacker, just crushing folks. Just hasn't worked out yet for him in two different stops, Alabama, Florida State. But we'll see where it goes. If you can develop this guy and get him to realize his potential, you'd have yourself a heck of a linebacker. Now remember, you're losing your top three in Debo, Knight, and Bam Martin-Scott. You have Fred R.J. Johnson, four-star kid who's played on special teams a lot this year. You have Jaron Willis, who 2 years ago in November really popped as a pass rusher, wasn't used as much this year. He'll be a redshirt junior. You have some freshmen coming in. So if you could get Murphy having to reach that high ceiling he has, that might be something. But again, he's a guy that needs some developing. It would be really good to get a veteran linebacker. You had one, the kid Jones from Grambling, committed to South Carolina, but over the weekend flipped to Ole Miss because, well, they made it rain, baby. They made it rain. Bags, thanks to the Grove Collective. So you still need another veteran linebacker, in my opinion, but you got some potential in this linebacker room. That's the latest in the transfer portal for South Carolina, by the way, just to get you caught up on that. And we'll continue to dig around for more stuff on any more news from the portal. One other story from college football. The one thing about this whole college football playoff as well is we're getting all these people sniping at each other. We had the Kirk Herbstreit, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp stuff. Now we got Joel Klatt from Fox. He's had enough of Lane Kiffin's whining. Enough. He's had enough. So after Kiffin put out a tweet over the weekend during one of the blowouts on Saturday, Kiffin tweeted, "Way to keep us on the edge of our seats, committee. Riveting." It was during the blowout, either the Indiana or the SMU blowout, I can't remember. Joel Klatt had enough, and here's what he tweeted to Lane Kiffin. "If your team played half as well as you tweet, you would likely be in." That's a great comeback. Look, I get Lane's frustration, but Klatt's right. We've said this. You know, if you're South Carolina, Alabama, or Ole Miss, you're watching Indiana and SMU soil themselves, and you're like, really? You put those folks in ahead of us? But, you know, all three teams, you know, there are games they'd like to have back. Ole Miss loses to Kentucky, unacceptable. Alabama loses to Oklahoma and Vanderbilt, unacceptable. South Carolina had that LSU game. Lenore Sellers got hurt. The refs sucked. The Bama game in Tuscaloosa, you could have closed the door on that multiple times. And unfortunately, 2 of your 3 losses were head-to-head with Ole Miss and Alabama. So all three of those teams, to me, would have played better than SMU or Indiana, absolutely. But when you get 3 losses, and however it shakes out, it puts you in a bad spot. But I can see Joel Klatt tired of the whining of Lane Kiffin. All right, what's trending at 2? Sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions. That is coming up on the halftime show with Terry Ford and Ed Bird. Thank you, Ed Bird. We appreciate your help, my friend. Great donuts, homemade.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20K off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
This holiday, gift the gift of wellness with a Hand and Stone massage and facial spa package. Purchase a spa package valued at $200 and receive a free 1-hour massage or facial service gift card. 3 convenient locations across the Columbia area or handandstone.com.
Offer valid at participating locations for only a limited time.
Are you a last minute Larry? You know, the guy who is known for months that Christmas is coming, but you still haven't done your shopping yet. Fortunately, at Traditions Fine Jewelers, we specialize in helping last-minute Larrys navigate the Christmas shopping challenge. Our knowledgeable staff can help you find just the right gifts for all the special ones in your life. Count on it. Everybody likes jewelry, and we have the biggest selection and the best prices anywhere. So come see us on Sunset in Lexington and at the Fountain at Sandhills. Traditions Fine Jewelers, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas.
Firehouse Subs, Hook and Ladder jingle, take 1.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin slice.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast spread, mustard, mayo, purple spread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants.
Honey, would you take a seat? I have a confession to make.
What is it? What's wrong?
Well, I was out driving today and I saw some hookers on the side of the road. A bunch of huge, professional, beautiful-looking hookers. So I did what I was supposed to do. I slowed down and I moved over.
You slowed down for the hookers?
Well, yeah, it's the law. There was a whole fleet of Schroeder's towing trucks assisting with an accident. Wait, what did you think I was talking about?
Schroeder's Towing reminds you to slow down and move over for all first responders.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
AAA Heating and Air is on the hunt to find the oldest AC unit in our Midland service area. Do you think it could be yours? If you do, it could pay off. AAA Heating and Air and My Oldest AC contest is kicking off, and you have a chance to win a new HVAC system for your home. Just head over to their website, myoldAir.com, and complete the online entry form. AAA Heating and Air will draw a winner at random for every 100 entries. It really is that easy. Contest is limited time only. Residents in the AAA Heating and Air service area or eligible to enter. See the terms and rules on their website for a full list of contest rules.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal right now. Get up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Yes, you heard that right. Up to $20,000 off. Don't wait. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Chevy, together let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
Affordable landscapers near me.
Right here, sir.
Same ones I saw last time.
What? Can he not see us?
Nope, he can't see you yet. Get Cumulus Boost and get on the map. CumulusBoost.com.
Winter weather can be unpredictable, but with Rapid Radio's walkie-talkies, you'll always be prepared. Whether it's for road trips, ice storms, power outages, these walkie-talkies offer reliable communication when you need it most. Stay in touch with your loved ones during winter adventures or emergencies, and you can do so with ease. Rapid Radios provide dependable lines of communication, ensuring you're never out of reach. Visit rapidradios.com, receive up to 60% off and an additional 5% off using the code RADIO.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia, your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game, a Cumulus media station.
What's trending at 2?
Sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions.
2 locations in Lexington and Sandhills on the Halftime Show. Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
For the week. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out with us as we cook this baby. What's trending at 2, sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry, Gamecock Traditions. What's trending at 2 was a nice South Carolina victory in hoops. Gamecocks they beat Radford. Weird game, a tale of two halves, obviously, for South Carolina. First half, 36-30, Radford was up by 6. And then South Carolina came out and stomped Radford 44-12 in the second half. So the first thought is, okay, Lamont Paris, what kind of cool halftime speech did you drop? And Lamont Paris talked about Pat Riley back when Pat Riley was the head coach and one of his halftime motivational moves. Here's Lamont Paris explaining it to Derek Scott and Casey Manning postgame.
I did the old Pat Riley. I told him before the game I grew up a Lakers fan, and they said Pat Riley was this master motivator. At one point in time when he was with the Heat, he was the head coach, and I guess they were playing poorly in the first half, and then he comes in the second half and throws his head in a bucket of ice water and brings his head out and acts like a maniac. So that's what the halftime speech looked like.
Wow.
Yeah, we got toweled off by the time we came out here, and no worse for the wear.
You see your coach sticking his head in a bucket of ice water. Play better. Or whatever Lamont said. Now, in my years of playing sports at a very low level, I've never had a coach really do anything like that or any kind of like cool, tricky motivational stuff. Most of my guys were just straight ahead, old school. Told my stories about Coach Jerry when I played Pop Warner football with that cast. Go play better in a second if I'll beat you in the hell with my cash, you little punks. Never anybody sticking their head in a bucket of ice water like Lamont Paris. But it worked because South Carolina went out and just rolled Radford in the second half. I mean, the team was energy level, intensity level, just not there, especially in comparison to the Clemson game. Crowd wasn't the same, wasn't as energized. Look, holidays are here. A lot of stuff's going on here, and your team just came out flat-ish. And here's Lamont Paris trying to explain why that happened.
Not to make an excuse, if it's going to sound like an excuse, it is for these guys. There's so many things that they're processing and trying to get ready for, and travel. And I don't think one guy, we moved the game to 2 o'clock on purpose so the guys that were going to be close enough could travel. That ends up being almost everybody. I don't know if anybody's going to be here in the morning. They're all going to leave tonight. So, they got a lot of things that and it's a month ago they're starting to talk about Christmas plans. I'm like, can we get to December before we start talking about Christmas? But there were a lot. And then we settled down. It was effort. It was effort and concentration related. I hate to say that. And we made a couple threes in the second half. It would have looked a little bit different if we made some of those. We got some good looks in the first half. But then we also offensive rebounded our misses to the tune of 8 on 17 misses, right? I think it was effort. We held them to 12 points. Okay, did they miss a couple? Sure. But we also drew the line in the sand way earlier than what we were doing in the first half. So it just was a classic case of the tale of two halves. All I wanted to do going into the game was crush them by 1 point. I'll be honest with you. That's all I wanted to do, and we were able to do that.
Yeah, you got the W by 1. That's what matters. You won. And the first half wasn't pretty. Second half rolled. Again, 44-12, and everything started on the defensive end. Look, in the first half, Gamecocks had a lot of really good looks, just couldn't make shots. And in the second half, the defense got things going and fueled them. And here's Lamont Paris talking about, what did they do defensively to get this thing going in the second half?
Some of our ball screen stuff was better. It was soft and loose. We were more aggressive. We were doing a better job of providing resistance on drivers. In the first half, they got into the paint, pivoted around a bunch of times, and then made some shots. They did it a couple times in the second half, but I thought our resistance was better at the point of attack, and then our ball screen coverage. We were a little bit better in our ball screen coverage. We were a little less aggressive in the middle ball screens in terms of with a hard hedge type situation. Mm-hmm. We kind of limited that to anything that was on the wings, and then went back to a different coverage, a little softer coverage in the middle.
So basically just changed the ball screen coverages to kind of eliminate what Radford was getting in the first half, and just ratcheting up the effort and intensity on defense led to more effort and intensity on offense. Again, to the line, South Carolina 25 of 27 from the line, 93%. That from a team that was shooting under 70% from the line coming into the game yesterday. Nick Pringle, 10 for 10 from the line. So Gamecocks were aggressive, got to the line, and good things happened. Lamont Paris also, talking about the other good thing that happened, was rebounding. Now, South Carolina on the glass took advantage, not taking advantage, but really the energy and effort showed up. They out-rebounded Radford, by the way, one of the better offensive rebounding teams in America. They out-rebounded Radford by 18 boards and also pretty much doubled them in offensive rebounds. Here's Lamont Paris talking about how South Carolina won the Battle of the Glass.
I don't know how that happens. Honestly, you blocked out better. There's a component of fortune that's in there. Maybe their ball rebounded a couple times, but that's not to the tune of that type of differential. But we blocked out better. We got to the free throw line. Imagine getting 2 free throws because you blocked out and the guy shoves you. Yeah. Imagine getting 2 points for that. Guys, there's a lot of ways to score. That's one. It's an easy one once they get in the bonus. And we did that. I can't remember who it was that came down and not Miles. Mm-hmm. It was Miles Stewart. He blocked out. They shoved him in the back. He walked right down and got 2 free throws out of it. So I think we did a better job blocking out. But, there's also a component of where the ball bounces.
Yeah, look, rebounding, if all you can do is, first of all, box out, and 2, effort to go to the ball. And sometimes the ball will bounce your way. How many times have you seen a basketball game or you played in a basketball game where, a rebound, someone takes a terrible shot, right? How many times have you seen an air ball land in a dude's hand and then he just lays it up for a deuce? Seriously? Cat fires an air ball and you get 2 out of it because your guy catches it. Well, a lot of times your guy is boxing out, and the good fortune is because he's doing what he's supposed to do. But sometimes some cat will throw a brick and barely hits the front of the rim and shoots right down. But if a guy's in the right position boxing out, he'll get a garbage hoop, get a dirty bucket because he was in the right place. Sometimes you just get good fortune with bounces, but you got to be in the right spot. The one that does aggravate you, though, is when you play good D, somebody fires a 3 with like a second or 2 on the shot clock. The 3 hits back iron and shoots out to the perimeter, and the other team gets an offensive rebound and then scores. It drives you insane. But South Carolina, the combination of hustle, boxing out, good fortune, and getting some bounces your way, and putting energy toward rebounding, gave you the big edge on the glass. And South Carolina had a huge edge on the glass in his basketball game. So the rebounding and the free throws, that's what had it going. And defensively, the defense kind of fueled better offense. Here's Lamont Paris talking about that.
These guys, both sides of the ball, are definitely connected in a way where the one's going to improve because of the other. 20 years ago, it used to be if the offensive side wasn't working, that defense got ratcheted up automatically. That's just the way it was. It's a little bit different now, but still, I think they were definitely related, and probably wasn't a coincidence that once we got one of them going, and we did start off on the defensive end really good, that we started making some of those looks too. Some really good passes. Colin out of the post, masterful. A couple of these passes. Nick had one out of the post that he threw for. I keep telling these guys, man, the hardest part of it is to make that pass. See it and give up your opportunity and make that pass. The easiest part is once you catch that ball to make it go through the net. These guys don't seem to think so.
Yeah, it is. It's the easiest part at times. And you make that pass. Look, Nick Pringle had 4 assists. Colin Murray-Boyles had 3. 7 of your 12 assists came from your bigs. And the one thing, look, it's a perimeter game, right? It's a guard-driven game, a perimeter game. Winning with big back-to-the-basket centers is just, it doesn't work now. It just doesn't. But if you got bigs who can score in a multitude of ways once they get the rock in their hand and teams have to double them, like you saw Clemson starting to double Colin Murray-Boyles the other night, it leaves shooters open. And you just got to make the shots. And it just leads to better ball movement. And you have to take advantage of the fact you have a high-level guy in Colin Murray-Boyles, not only as a scorer, but as a passer and a facilitator, almost like a point forward. And South Carolina's trying to use him more in that, in that vein, because he's good at it. And really, you need to run more and more offense through Colin Murray-Boyles, because either he's going to get an advantage type situation against his defender. You saw it in the Clemson game. Clemson's bigs couldn't handle Colin Murray-Boyles off the bounce. He just put the ball on the deck and go by him. So, he is a matchup problem for taller, bigger players. If he can put the ball on the deck a bit from, within that 15-foot range, and he's quicker than most of those guys. So if they have to start doubling him, there's trouble. And he can score on the low block too. So if you have to start running a second defender at Colin Murray-Boyles to get the ball out of his hands, Colin Murray-Boyles can make that pass and make people pay. But the other end of that is the dude he passes to has got to can the shot. But it's a good problem to have. It really is. Also in the college hoops, for what it's worth, the AP Top 25 is out. A lot of SEC in the top 10. Tennessee is 1, undefeated Vols. Auburn is sitting at 2 with 1 loss. You have Alabama at 3, 10-2. Undefeated Florida at 6. And 2 lost Kentucky at 10. 5 of the top 10 teams in the college basketball AP Top 25 are from the SEC. What does it mean? Nothing. But it's kind of cool to look at right now. Also, the SEC has Oklahoma at 12, A&M at 13, Mississippi at 16, Mississippi State at 19, Arkansas at 23. Crazy how many SEC teams are in the top 25. 10 of the top 25 are SEC squads. All right, so the rest of this week, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, day after Christmas, we will not be rolling any local shows. We're going to shut her down, spend time with our family, our friends, or someone else's family and friends, whatever. We're going to be taking 3 days off to enjoy the holidays. Live and Local starts again on Friday at 6 a.m. with the early game with Bill and Preston, and then David Dare will be here punching the buttons. We'll be doing our rewind, taking a look back at 2024 the next 3 days. Also, we'll do that on New Year's Day as well. Just to let you know what's going on. We're going to have local stuff, just, looking back on the year, grab some interesting interviews from the past 12 months. Also, our hosts have all gotten together, yapping about the year that was in the sports world here in South Carolina. So we got that coming up the next 3 days. And we've got NFL football Christmas Day with the Chiefs and the Steelers. That will be 12:30 pregame, 1 o'clock kick, something like that. Just keep you up to date on what we're doing here. All right, what's trending at 2 will continue from Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions. We talked about South Carolina got a player through the portal today. We'll get you caught up on the scoreboard for the transfer portal for the Gamecocks. That is coming up next. It is the halftime show. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out with us. We go till 3 on the game.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach.
The Game Network.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. A true reflection of quality.
The Game TV. 107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
It's the most wonderful time of the year again, and if you're needing to buy Christmas gifts, you just gotta come see us at Traditions Fine Jewelers. We have more amazing choices to suit every budget and every taste, from diamonds to gold to precious gemstones, and our prices are simply incredible. Like 1 carat total weight diamond studs, just $4.99, or 2 carat total weight studs, just $9.99. Nothing says I love you like a gift of fine jewelry, and at Traditions, you can count on getting more for your money. Traditions Fine Jewelers on Sunset in Lexington and at the Fountain at Sand Hills. Wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas.
What's up, Gamecocks? Ben Cato, third-generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. We have an exciting new solution for those of you who have retention ponds, large hills, or overgrown land that needs clearing. Now available at Cato's Power Equipment, the all-new Gravely Ovis RC40 is a remote-control, track-driven flail mower with a uniquely low center of gravity that makes easy work of hillsides and large brush. Whether you're interested in renting or purchasing, come schedule your free demo today at Cato's Power Equipment.
Are you a Gamecock fan that's looking for flexibility to attend the games you want without committing to season tickets? If so, the Gamecock Go Pass is for you. For only $20 a month, your Gamecock Go Pass subscription provides you with access to all non-conference football games, most men's and women's basketball and baseball games, and all softball, soccer, and volleyball games. Plus, you have the ability to add on tickets for conference football games and premier basketball and baseball games for an additional cost. To learn more and sign up today, visit thegamecockclub.com/go.
I knew there had to be a better way to get relief from joint pain aside from surgery and harmful medications.
That's football legend and dancing champ Emmitt Smith, who knows a thing or two about joint pain.
Turns out I was right. It's called QC Kinetics, and now tens of thousands of patients and counting all across the country, they're feeling amazing. They say, hey, Emmitt, you were right.
QC Kinetics zeroed in on a technology that is revolutionizing pain treatment. They are transforming patients' lives. The largest provider of non-surgical regenerative treatments using natural healing properties to help restore and repair aching knees, hips, shoulders, and backs. Call them today for your free consultation.
QC Kinetics. I knew there had to be a better way. I love it when I'm right.
QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 803-281-6860. That's 803-281-6860. 803-281-6860.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Firehouse Subs, Hook and Ladder Jingle, take 1.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin slice.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder. When it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast spread, mustard, mayo, purple spread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants.
When's the best time to start planning a festive event? Right now. Enjoy a convenient downtown location with lots of parking. The Hilton Garden Inn Columbia Downtown is ready to book your festive event this year. Call 803-227-3400 today. Host a holiday celebration the office will buzz about, or ring in the new year in style. Let the Hilton Garden Inn Columbia Downtown help you create new memories this year. 803-227-3400.
Got something to say?
Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line
at 803-404-6100. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 100.5 The Game in Florence. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network.
What's trending at 2?
Sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions.
2 locations in Lexington and Sandhills on the Halftime Show on the Game Network.
We keep rolling with what's trending at 2 here on the Game. One of the things that's trending is the transfer portal for South Carolina. Sean Murphy, linebacker, Florida State, committed to the Gamecocks today. Again, you just you hope that all that untapped potential can, finally happen for Murphy. Top 70 player coming out of high school, 4-star, athletic. You're hoping if you can get him to where he could be, then he's a athletic sideline-to-sideline linebacker. We'll see. But Sean Murphy today, again, coming to South Carolina through the portal. Let's get the list together for you. Jalen Brown, edge from Missouri. Offensive lineman, interior offensive lineman Nick Sharp from Wake Forest. Tight end Jordan Dingle, Kentucky. Gabriel Brownlow, Dindy, defensive lineman, Texas A&M. And Sean Murphy, linebacker, Florida State. TJ Searcy was on the list of defenders that South Carolina was interested in, but Searcy has committed to Texas A&M, according to On3's Hayes Fawcett. So South Carolina misses out on Searcy. Miles Norwood, defensive back from Ball State, is closing on a decision soon. South Carolina, Kentucky, and Louisville are the final 3. Norwood visited South Carolina, was supposed to go to Kentucky this weekend. According to Wes Mitchell, the Wildcats just picked up a portal corner. So that might be a factor there. So we'll see what happens with Miles Norwood. South Carolina looking for a little defensive back help because they'll most likely need it. Also, Rodney Newsome Jr., interior offensive lineman, can play center or guard from Western Kentucky. Had a good season in 2024. He visited South Carolina this past weekend. Said his visit was amazing. He enjoyed it. There should be a decision in the next 24 hours, possibly, maybe 48 hours. A lot of folks think that South Carolina is sitting in a really good spot for Rodney Newsome. Also, South Carolina has offered a defensive lineman transfer from Bowling Green, Devontae Miles. South Carolina's chasing Miles, as is Mississippi State, Memphis, Northwestern, and UConn. So Miles is expected to play in Bowling Green's bowl game December 26th and make a decision after that. Miles would have 2 years of eligibility left. So that's where it's at with the transfer portal with South Carolina. Again, so far 5 in. Nothing new on Justice Haynes, the running back from Alabama. He has visited South Carolina, Ole Miss, visiting Michigan as well, and then he'll kick back and make a decision on which direction he'll go. I mean, at South Carolina, obviously, if Haynes showed up, he would be having the inside track to be the starting running back with the Gamecocks. Again, we'll see where all that goes, but that's where everything's at in the portal right now for South Carolina, just to get you caught up there. What's trending at 2, sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions. Shohei Ohtani, once again, is the AP Male Athlete of the Year. Third time Ohtani's gotten this. Dig this, ready? The only 4-time winners of this award are Tiger Woods, LeBron James, and Lance Armstrong. That's it. So Ohtani's in some rare air. And last year, Ohtani goes 50 for 50, 50 steals, 50 homers, hits a career-high 310. Dodgers win the World Series. Remember, the game Ohtani broke the mark. Remember, he went 6 for 6 against the Marlins, 3 homers, 10 RBIs, and 2 steals, 17 total bases. Unbelievable. Had a phenomenal season, did Shohei Ohtani. And he wins the AP Male Athlete of the Year award. A no-brainer on that one. Wow. Just unreal how good Shohei Ohtani was. A phenomenal season. What's trending at 2, sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out. One note from the college football playoff moving forward. Notre Dame, their big-time defensive lineman, Riley Mills, is out for the rest of the college football playoffs with a knee injury. Mills hurt himself on a sack of Curtis Rowe, Indiana's quarterback, early in the second half of the Fighting Irish win. I mean, who didn't sack Curtis Rowe, it felt like, for Notre Dame? But that hurts. That does hurt. Notre Dame losing a big-time defensive lineman in Riley Mills. One other transfer portal note. Michigan obviously is looking for a quarterback. They have Bryce Underwood, the prize freshman. They bring in Mikey Keene from Fresno State, who has put up some numbers at Fresno State over the last couple of years. Keene started his career at Central Florida. He's thrown for over 8,000 yards and 65 touchdowns. He's a little feller, about 5'11", but again, was productive, at Fresno State. But, the hope in the perfect world of all Wolverine fans is that Bryce Underwood grabs that job as a freshman and just keeps rolling with it. But there's good insurance if Underwood isn't ready. Well, I shouldn't say good. There is veteran insurance in Mikey Keene. How will his game translate to a Power 4 school like Michigan in the Big Ten? Who knows? But that is that's the word. All right, if you were watching Saturday, the Texans and the Chiefs, you saw Texan wide receiver Tank Gill catch a touchdown pass while getting his knee obliterated by his teammate, a little friendly fire. Well, the word is out on the injury now, and they didn't show other angles, thank God, because it was a gruesome injury. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see the gruesome injuries. After watching Joe Theismann's leg almost snap in half all those years ago when I was a little young Terry Ford, I don't need to see gruesome injuries. Not my bag. But Tank Dell, he suffered a torn ACL and dislocated kneecap with that injury. According to D'Amico Ryans, the head coach of the Texans, Dell will need to get repaired when he undergoes the surgery. We'll see where it goes. Dell also last year had his season cut short. I believe he broke his foot at the end of last year. Guy's been a really nice receiver for the Texans when healthy. It's a shame. But, broken leg. I thought it was broken foot. So, broken leg at the end of his 2023 season. So, that's the latest on that injury, and it was bad. It was bad. Whew. So, that's the latest there. All right, what's trending at 2, sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions. We'll come back. The greatest day in the history of the world is December 23rd. We'll find out all about it next on the Halftime Show. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out with us. We go till 3 here on The Game.
107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Everyone wants you to pay for their streaming app. You gotta have this one. You gotta have that one. Well, not us. Here at The Game. Why? Because we love you more than they do. Just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the 107.5 The Game app for free.
I'm here with the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder of First Palmetto Bank. Jacob, tell me more about this 4.99% 30-year fixed product you are offering in Richland County.
We have a community reinvestment product in the areas of Richland County.
Blythewood, Northeast, Southeast, and the I-20 corridor are areas that we're offering the 4.99% interest with a 5.075 APR on a 30-year fixed mortgage. We are underserving these areas, so the bank is offering 100% purchase loans at 4.99% on a 30-year fixed. No points, no mortgage insurance, no gimmicks, just lower payments.
4.99% is awesome. What's a payment look like?
Yes, Bill. A payment on $200,000 at that APR is $1,072 a month for 360 months. A payment on $300,000 is at $1,608. These estimates do not include taxes and insurance. These loans are only for primary residences, and the loan amounts are capped at $300,000. Call me today. A number is 803-719-1005, or you can email me at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com. All loans are subject to credit approval and property appraisal. First Palmetto Bank is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. My NMLS number is 198432.
Are you a last minute Larry? You know, the guy who is known for months that Christmas is coming, but you still haven't done your shopping yet. Fortunately, at Traditions Fine Jewelers, we specialize in helping last minute Larrys navigate the Christmas shopping challenge. Our knowledgeable staff can help you find just the right gifts for all the special ones in your life. Count on it. Everybody likes jewelry, and we have the biggest selection and the best prices anywhere. So come see us on Sunset in Lexington and at the Fountain at Sandhills. Traditions Fine Jewelers, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. Oh, by golly, it's a holly jolly season at Love Chevy with year-end savings you don't want to miss. I-26 at Harbison and lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Pete Ale Wine Pool and Spa is the place for all things swimming pool and hot tub. Need a new vinyl liner? This is the perfect time of year to have your faded or worn out liner replaced. Call or come see us to repair, replace, or upgrade your existing equipment. Want to cover your pool to keep out all those fall leaves? A new safety cover is the answer, and it's safe for the kids and pets. That's Pete Ale Wine Pool and Spa, 5541 Sunset Boulevard. You'll find us on Facebook or online at PeteAleWinePools.com.
When it comes to comfort, you can rely on Brian's Heating and Cooling. Here's Eric Moan.
Brian and his wife are very good people. I've gotten to know them as a family, and to me, that's a great tiebreaker in an industry where you could choose a whole lot of different providers. Somebody that you get along with on a personal level is a big plus for me. He is a stand-up guy, and they do good work, and really, you can't do better than that.
Call Brian's Heating and Cooling at 796-1788.
Honey, look, the hookers. They've moved off the highway, and now they're all over the parking lot.
What are all those Schroeder's towing trucks doing in that parking lot, though?
Must be towing all those unauthorized cars parked in the lot. Good thing the business owner called Schroeder's Towing to keep their parking lot clear for just their customers. Didn't those cars see the free signage that Schroeder's provides to business owners to deter unauthorized parking?
I guess not.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
No one likes to talk about the injuries, pain, disability, and lost loved ones that result from terrible car and tractor-trailer accidents. I'm Jason Reynolds. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we're honored to be the lawyers our clients rely on during their toughest moments.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When a work injury disrupts your life, I work hard to get you the medical treatment and workers' compensation you depend on.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for the Men's Clinic. Too often guys won't go to the doctor when they're feeling off, whether it's because they think they can tough it out or because they just don't want to talk about it. Don't be that guy. Get to feeling better after you see Dr. Dan Balknight and his team at the Men's Clinic. They are experts in health care for men and dedicated to making you feel like yourself again. You can schedule a free consultation by calling 803-875-MENS and learn more online at themensclinicsc.com.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
The greatest day in the history of the world on the Halftime Show.
They're gonna put me in the movies.
Oh, we got some cool
They're
stuff.
Gonna make a big start out of
When it comes to the greatest day in the history of the world, December 23rd. We'll start with, we always try to go old school. We got a couple old schools because, you know, the 70s were, think about this for a minute. 70s were a long time ago, man. You just don't think about it. If you're over a certain age, you think the 70s were like, it's not that long ago. Oh, yeah. We'll start off in the 50s, which is really a long time ago. On this day in 1951, a dude named Norm Van Brocklin threw a 73-yard touchdown pass to Tom Fears in the fourth quarter, gave the Rams a 24-17 win over the Cleveland Browns to win the Rams' only NFL title at that time in L.A. And the Rams' big explosive offense scored a ton of points a game. They had This was what's weird about that year. Norm Van Brocklin was alternating at quarterback with a dude named Bob Waterfield, who was also known as a very high-level QB at the time. And the Rams were successful with that shuttling the quarterbacks kind of deal. Today, our goal, I remember the saying is you got two quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. Yeah, Van Brocklin and Waterfield, though, with the Rams, that team was scoring almost 40 points a game. They were throwing the football all over the field, and this was like the late 40s, early 50s. Van Brocklin and Waterfield 1-2 in passer rating. First year of this, platoon, the Rams lost to the Browns 30-28 in the 1950 title game. But then at 51, with that Van Brocklin pass, they beat the Browns. But yeah, think about platooning two high-level quarterbacks. That's crazy. Again, at the time, you had no free agency, you had no salary caps. You could have these two guys. Van Brocklin got tired of being with the Rams, and 58 didn't feel like playing. Ready for this? He didn't want to play for Sid Gilman, the father of the modern passing game. And it was nothing against Gilman. He just wanted more control of the offense. Because remember, back in the old days, quarterbacks called their own plays. So Van Brocklin decided not to be retired. Instead, he was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles for 2 players and a first-round pick. And Van Brocklin was a high-level player. He played in 2 NFL championship games, or NFL championship teams, the 1960 Eagles and that 51 Rams squad. Was a coach in the NFL, not a very good coach. One of my best, but the things, NFL films, I saw someone on Van Brocklin once, and this is a sign of the times. I think it was the 60s, late 60s. Old Norm's on the sidelines coaching and sucking on a heater. I love the old days. So, a little Norm Van Brocklin. Also, greatest day in the history of the world. There's another one we're going to get to that's pretty interesting as well. 1972. This was the play of all plays in the NFL. Pittsburgh Steelers, Oakland Raiders in a playoff game. Steelers are down 7-6 in the fourth quarter. It's 4th down, 22 seconds left. Terry Bradshaw, the Pittsburgh quarterback, throws a pass trying to get the ball to his running back, Frenchie Fuqua. The ball bounces off the helmet, supposedly, of Raiders safety Jack Tatum. Instead of going to Fuqua, it hits Tatum, and the ball ricochets, and Franco Harris catches it, the other Steeler running back, right before the ball hit the ground, took off with it, ran for the game-winning touchdown. The Immaculate Reception this day in 1972. Again, the Raiders say the ball never hit Tatum. It hit Fuqua instead. And back then, if the ball hit off an offensive player, another offensive player couldn't catch it. It would have been an incomplete pass. But it was looked at as a touchdown. And that play is looked at as the greatest play in NFL history by many people, and the most controversial play in NFL history. So, yeah, today, 1972. NFL Films picked it as the greatest play of all time and the most controversial. Also, NFL Network picked it as the greatest play in history as well. So, yeah, just a ginormous play in the history of the NFL this day in 1972. 1978, Brian Trottier scored 5 goals and 3 assists. The Islanders beat the Rangers 9-4. That was an NHL record, with 3 goals and 3 assists in the second period alone for Trottier. Crazy. Another iconic day in the history of sports, 1982. Chaminade, an NAIA school, beats top-ranked Virginia with their 7'4" center, Ralph Sampson, 77-72, one of the biggest upsets in the history of college basketball. Game was played in Honolulu's International Center in front of 3,383 fans. Chaminade, NAIA school, beats Virginia with Ralph Sampson. I think it's the greatest upset ever. It's an NAIA school, and they beat one of the best teams in college basketball. So, sorry, I just think that's phenomenal. 1996, Barry Sanders of the Detroit Lions runs for 175 yards. Detroit loses to San Francisco, but Sanders ends up with over 1,500 yards for the year, the third straight season that Sanders had gained at least 1,500 yards rushing. That's the first time it's ever happened in the NFL. 2007, the Patriots set an NFL record with their 15th win, the best start in league history, of the 28-7 victory over the Dolphins. Remember, the Miami Dolphins went 14-0 in the regular season. They didn't have a 16-game season back then. Also, 2007, Chris Johnson of East Carolina sets an NCAA Bowl record with 408 all-purpose yards. East Carolina outlasts Boise State in the Hawaii Bowl back in 2007. And of course, Chris Johnson had a really good NFL career until injuries cut it short. 2008, the Celtics set a franchise record with their 19th straight win, beating the Sixers. Celtics improved to 27-2. Best start for a two-loss team in NBA history. The 19-game win streak breaks the Celtics record of 1981-82. A lot of stuff today, isn't it? Greatest day in the history of the world. On the halftime show on the game. Drew Brees on this day in 2012 threw for 446 yards and 3 touchdowns. Brees had almost 4,800 yards passing, becoming the first NFL player in history to throw for at least 4,500 yards in 3 consecutive seasons. Dude was good. Really good. How many was it? The Dolphins and other teams kicked themselves for not signing him or not when he was cut loose by the Chargers. Now, let's be honest. Phillip Rivers was a heck of a quarterback. But if you had your choice of Phillip Rivers or Drew Brees, who are you taking? I'm taking Drew Brees. 2013, Andrew Luck throws for 205 yards to break the single-season rookie yardage record. Touchdown pass to Reggie Wayne late in the fourth quarter put Indy in the playoffs. Luck threw for 4,183 yards, surpassing Cam Newton's old record of 4,051 yards by a rookie quarterback. It's a shame what happened to Andrew Luck. He was on path to be a Hall of Famer. Colts didn't have an offensive line in front of him. Colts asked him to do too much. Once they realized all their mistakes, the injury started. Andrew Luck's career ended. Now he's the GM for the Stanford football program. It's a shame. It really is. The guy could play. 2022, Caps Washington Capitals center Alexander Ovechkin scores 2 goals to move past Gordie Howe on the NHL career goals list. This is a guy, Ovechkin right now is hurt, but he could actually do what nobody ever thought could be done, and that's past Wayne Gretzky's all-time goals mark. Could happen. So there's your greatest day in the history of the world on the game. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out with us as we roll our last halftime show for the holiday season. We'll be back with the halftime show on Monday, December 30th, right before we kick our big coverage on the 31st for the Citrus Bowl. So we get back into the noon to 3 thing a week from today. And I'm going to go north and annoy my family. Can't wait. Can't wait. All right. Our Firehouse Sub text the hours next, 803-404-6100. Also, a little top 25 AP women's news and some news about the SEC men's basketball player of the week. All that's coming up on the halftime show as we wrap this sucker up to get you ready for the best of the postgame show. That is next here on the Game in Columbia, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
The Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
It's back.
The Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest. Just go to 1075thegame.com and register. The pot starts at $100. Every week it increases $100 if Carolina doesn't score a special teams touchdown. But if the Gamecocks do score a special teams touchdown, you could win the pool. Again, just go to 1075thegame.com and register. It's the Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest from 1075 The Game.
This is Andrew Bogish with a Sports Minute. In case you somehow missed it, the Lions threw a touchdown yesterday in Chicago after their quarterback and running back pretended to fall down to confuse the Bears defense. I loved it. This team's amazing. Now, their long list of major injuries might be too long to overcome in January, but the Lions will try anything and everything to win. I'm Andrew Bogish.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to HIMSS.com/joy. That's HIMSS.com/joy for your free online visit.
Injured in a car wreck? Need your check? It's easy. Dial 1-800-ALL-7s now.
The Anastapula Law Firm has been recovering millions for their clients for over 30 years. Whether it's a slip and fall, car accident, or any other issues that have resulted from an accident, Anastapula Law Firm can help. Their South Carolina personal injury attorneys have experience fighting for the rights of their clients. Remember, don't scream. Call Akeem. Dial 800-ALL-7s now. Herb Glass is responsible for this ad, and cases are handled at 32 Ann Street, Charleston, South Carolina, 29403. Paid endorsement, not actually client. Results may vary.
In the U.S., more than 39 million men suffer from erectile dysfunction. Boston Scientific created edcure.com to help you find your best cure. To get started, go to edcure.com, take a quiz, and learn your severity or risk of ED. The fastest way to find your best cure is to contact an ED specialist by browsing a list of experienced physicians in your area. edcure.com. You're not alone. edcure.com is brought to you by Boston Scientific.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can easily find coverage options that fit your budget. If only it was that easy to name your baby.
How about Jaden?
Nope.
Okay. Michael?
Went to middle school with a glue-eating Michael.
Sebastian?
Dated one in college.
How about Damien?
Vampire name.
All right. Greg?
Not feeling it.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Jeffrey?
Oh, love that one.
Wait, really?
No.
Find coverage options that fit your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
It's time for Text of the Hour on the Firehouse Subs text line on the Halftime Show.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence. And the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, time to check our Firehouse Sub text, or textuses of the hour. Got a couple. Looking at each side of the spectrum on the recruiting portal for South Carolina. In our final segment before the holidays. Again, enjoy your holiday. Have fun. See your family and your friends and all sorts of cool stuff, or whatever you like to do during this week. We hope you enjoy yourself, and thanks for always hanging out with us and putting up with us. We greatly appreciate it. All right, Firehouse Sub text the hour at 803-404-6100. Two of them. One, Terry, I'm getting a little nervous about this transfer portal with South Carolina. They have not added any linebackers yet with experience, nor have they added a go-to wide receiver. Need to do those things to step up so we can be competitive for next year, maybe even better 9 wins. And then the other side of it, really happy so far with what South Carolina's doing in the portal. They've added an edge pass rusher. They had a linebacker with a lot of upside. Also, they've helped the offensive line and the defensive line as well. So, it's, again, both sides of the spectrum. The one thing is, it's a long way to go still. The portal will close the 28th, except for players who are in the college football playoff or in bowl games. And they get 5 days after, portal time, a portal window. Then obviously you have a portal opening in the spring as well. There's plenty of time to do what this team needs. Now, do they need help everywhere? Sure. They had the second most seniors in the country. You want to get an edge pass rusher to replace Kyle Kennard. You want to get 3. You need linebackers. You have some youngins. You just added the young fellow Murphy in the portal from Florida State. A lot of upside. But you'd like to get a veteran linebacker or two, who has experience, who's been productive. You'd love to find another Demetrius Knight, like you'd love to find another Kyle Kennard. Also, you're losing Bam Martin-Scott and Debo Williams from the linebacking crew as well. You might need some help losing a couple guys in the defensive backfield. You are going to lose your center and both guards on the offensive line. You lose your starting running back. And you love to add a wide receiver who's got a history of production. So he has a lot to do here. It's got to be. I know patience is tough. I get it. But last year, South Carolina crushed it in the portal. So hopefully that same formula can translate to this year's portal hunting season. So we'll see. Appreciate the text like always on the Firehouse subtext line 803-404-6100. I mean, if you just think about it this way, you look at Torricelli Simpkins, Rocket Sanders, Kyle Kennard, Demetrius Knight. That's pretty good. Pretty good. When just those 4, forget anywhere else. You have Kamar Bell, Jared Brown, whatever. You just look at Rocket Sanders, Torricelli Simpkins, Demetrius Knight, Kyle Kennard. How much those guys made this team better. And it all came out of the portal. So, look, it's a long process. Losing the linebacker Jones from Grambling, who committed to South Carolina and then flipped to Ole Miss over the weekend. Does that stink? Sure. Still a long way to go. Long way to go. And South Carolina has added some interesting pieces. Really like Sharp, the offensive lineman. He can help in the interior. The kid Murphy, the linebacker that just was brought in, again, he's someone who high ceiling, just hasn't really gotten it done yet. But there's a ton of potential there. Top 70 kid coming out of high school. Brownlow Dindy, the interior defensive lineman from A&M, was a 5-star coming out of high school. And Jalen Brown was a 4-star edge player who's another very raw guy, but a lot of potential. Yeah, you like to get some guys a mix in there, or some guys who have productivity on the collegiate level, sort of like a Knight or a Kennard, where you go, okay, he's been there, done that. Totally understand. So far, I mean, it's been a very interesting crew of players, and we'll see how this whole thing ends up. So we shall see. Interesting, this just popped. Alabama transfer running back Justice Haynes is coming off his 3 visits, starting to work through a decision. This is from Pete Nakos on 3 with his post. Obviously, Haynes has been to Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Michigan. Sources told On 3 Monday morning this has turned to a 2-team race between Michigan and South Carolina. Ole Miss has already landed a transfer commitment from Missouri running back Kejuan Lacey, and is pursuing South Alabama's Fluff Bothwell. So it feels like it's down to South Carolina and Michigan for Justice Haynes. That's according to Pete Nakos, just posted here a couple of minutes ago on 3. So there you go. All right, a couple of quick things as well. South Carolina, the women are still number 2 in the AP poll, sitting at 11-1. They got one first-place vote, as did Notre Dame. It's UCLA 1, South Carolina 2, Notre Dame 3, Southern Cal 4, and Texas 5. LSU sits at 6. So that is the women's top 25. Southern Cal beat UConn over the weekend to move up. UConn fell to 7 with the loss. Colin Murray-Boyles gets a nice little honor. Co-SEC Player of the Week. Colin Murray-Boyles, 18.5 points a game, 8 boards, 3.5 assists, 3 blocks, and a steal in the 2 wins. And, of course, the big win at home versus ranked Clemson. Colin Murray-Boyles, by the way, hits 70% of his shots from the floor, 9 of 9 from the line. Just an excellent week for Colin Murray-Boyles. He shares the honor with Jordan Pope, a guard from Texas, who scored a career-high 42 in a win over New Orleans. Oklahoma guard Jeremiah Fears, who has been really good, was tabbed as a SEC Freshman of the Week. So Colin Murray-Boyles, a very nice honor, co-SEC Freshman of the Week. That's good stuff there for Colin Murray-Boyles. And again, we'll keep you up to date on what's going on with the transfer portal. Again, we just said Justice Haynes, it feels like, according to sources, is down to either South Carolina or Michigan for the Alabama transfer portal running back, the number 1 rated running back in the portal. We'll see where that goes. If South Carolina can find a way to land Haynes, that would make the one texter who's nervous feel a lot better. Just saying. So we'll see where that ends up. And obviously, once we find out something, we'll let you know something. It's that simple. And again, thanks a lot for hanging out with us through another year. We appreciate you very much. And we'll be back a week from today from noon to 3 with the halftime show, getting you ready for the Citrus Bowl. Our coverage, of course, gets rolling at 10 a.m. on New Year's Eve. Noontime, the network pregame starts with Chris Miller and the crew. 3 o'clock kick from Orlando, South Carolina, taking on Illinois. And obviously we'll dig more into that game as it comes up. And Illinois, I believe, has lost their leading receiver to the portal. But these teams, for the most part, are keeping their squads together. They're trying to. So obviously we'll talk more about that as we get closer to game time. A special post-game show up next. The best of the post-game show from December with Jay Phillips and Elijah Campbell. That is coming up next here on The Game in Columbia, Florence, Myrtle Beach.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
All right, low testosterone stinks. Let's just get that out of the way now. Nobody wants to have low T. No one wants to see their testosterone wither away. Nobody wants to not be as strong in the gym anymore, not recover as well from exercise. Nobody wants to have their sleep screwed up. No one wants to forget everything when they used to remember everything. No one wants a lack of life drive, professional drive, sex drive, or just a lack of drive in general. No one wants that. Low T is a pain as you get older as a guy. One thing that can help you, call the Men's Clinic, 803-875-MENS. Set up a free confidential consultation with Dr. Dan and the staff. Tell them your story. If they think it could be low testosterone, they'll do some lab work. If it comes back low T, they will then put together a program specifically designed for you to get you back to feeling like you again. Low T stinks. Do something about it. Call the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. What's up? This is Elijah Campbell from 107.5 The Game, here to tell you that you can cash in on your sports knowledge on Prize Picks by just picking more or less on at least 2 players and their stat projections for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports this holiday season. And join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. I've been playing Prize Picks all football season long. Jalen Hurts more on rushing touchdowns. Russell Wilson more on passing yards. All of this, nailing the quarterback play this year. You can do the same. Just download the app today. Use promo code 1075GAME to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5